of Big Brother 20 and Recency Bias Radio Rants. I am your humble host, Dave Smith, and this is Recency Bias Radio, where no one is safe from criticism. Thank you all for being here tonight. I know I would only do it, I know I told y'all I would only do it Mondays and Thursdays, but tonight is a special night. And tomorrow, I'm going to bring some friends back that you guys saw already. So I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and recap what this week is really about tonight. That way tomorrow we can focus solely on Thursday's feeds, Thursday's episodes, and we can give y'all a good debate episode like y'all love. You feel it, dig me? So I'm going to let y'all come in, get acquainted, get comfortable first, because when I tell y'all going to be surprised with my takes. Now, if you've been following me on Twitter at Recency Bias Dave, let me plug that real quick, then you already know where I'm going to come with this. But see, there's a lot of people that are scared or something to keep it 100 in this community. See, my slogan has always been no one is safe from criticism, and I say that with good reason, ladies and gentlemen. My takes are forever fluid, meaning at any moment they can flex in a flexible way. They can change based off of what I see. I'm not someone who is so biased that I think a black player can do no wrong. Oh, it's quite the opposite. Any player can do wrong. So what I've always prided myself on, ladies and gentlemen, is keeping it 100 and being honest. And that's what they're gonna hold me to. The truth. And that's what I'm always going to give you, ladies and gentlemen. And that is why I've always told y'all this is an ongoing investigation, baby. So let's get into this episode first. That way we can discuss nothing but feeds, because I guarantee y'all the way I break this shit down, this is going to be exclusive. Okay. Anybody break this shit down the way I break it down tonight, they copied from me and flagged they shit. You feel me? Because I put in too much work. But anyway, did y'all see this night's episode? Did y'all see that tonight? Did y'all notice a lot of shit that I noticed? Let me break down a few of the things I noticed, because standard-wise, today's episode wasn't really that bad. It wasn't really that good. Today's episode, to me, kind of felt like, until we got to the veto portion, it kind of felt like a Sunday episode. It kind of felt like it was blah, a little, meh. You know what I'm saying? Nothing special happened. But I'm going to point out a few things I noticed in today's episode. The first thing, for instance, did you notice how the edit went out of its way to make it seem like Rockstar was Sam's first choice to be the replacement nom? This isn't true at all, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, she considered putting up Rachel and JC before she even got to putting up Rockstar. And in the last rant, let me correct something that I thought was true. The promise that she made to Rockstar wasn't about never nominating her. I found out the promise was much more sinister from Sam, something they wouldn't want on TV to ever make it on footage. And actually, Rockstar was on the hammock talking about this shit, and she was actually worried about being too specific about what the promise was. So let me unveil a little bit of this to you all. Sam, who has been telling Rockstar for weeks now that you remind me of my friend Holly, and geographically, they stay in a similar area in the South, okay? So they've already made plans to visit each other's families and stuff like that post-game. So Sam basically gave her a deal to the point where if you happen to go this week or next week in any way, I promise you, I will cover you. I will make sure you can get a new home. You know, she was talking to her as if production promised Sam some extra money on the back end or something, or production promised Sam she would be final 3 or something. It's very, very suspicious. And I will provide a timestamp later on in this rant, ladies and gentlemen. But I think it was necessary for me to start this rant off by telling y'all that Sam is the number one culprit for why I am naming this a change of heart. I'm naming this a change of heart for multiple reasons, okay? I'm naming this a change of heart because a lot of people are flipping this week. Notably, Bailey is flipping. I'll get into that later because that's a huge chunk of my argument. But I'm also calling this change of heart because the last one was called Fatal Attraction. And the synergy of the two titles work really well with each other within this week. And honestly, when I get to explaining some of the stuff that went down this week, you'll understand that Bailey wasn't the only one that changed her behavior. A lot of people are changing their behaviors this week because that pressure is something that a lot of these players have never felt before, especially the ones on Tyler's side who've had the game handed to them, ladies and gentlemen. So let me just hit you with that cold opening to get you, to hold you a little while, because as soon as we get on this Wednesday episode, we finna move at a speed, just like the last rant, y'all. Y'all know I take notes like none other. So I thought it was interesting that they try to make it seem as if Sam's first target was always Rockstar if someone used veto. That is a lie. She considered using it on Rachel because no one will vote Rachel out over Caitlyn. And she also considered JC because no one will vote JC out over Caitlyn. Okay. So I just wanted to go ahead and speak that into existence. And I was actually shocked that CBS showed JC in that light. I thought they would figure out a way to cover it up, but maybe it was an impossible thing to cover up because it wouldn't make any sense. Okay. Otherwise, now pay attention to how much Sam likes Faisal. Remember last week, when I gave you guys, I'd argue one of my best rants of all time because I broke down something and I gave a theory on why I think Sam doesn't like Caitlyn and Haley, and then it ended up being proven true by Rachel later on this week. So what I talked about last week was all centered around that game of charades, right? Where Sam kept trying to flirt with Faisal in front of Haley and Caitlyn was taking it personally the most, and Caitlyn was sending shots towards JC was sending shots towards her, and Haley was really the innocent bystander, but Sam looks at Haley as someone who is playing Scotty. She looks at her as someone who could be playing Tyler. She looks at her as someone who is playing Faisal. So in a way, Haley and Caitlyn's social games are very similar. The difference is Caitlyn is very unpredictable emotionally, whereas Haley is very controlled emotionally. So that's really what separates their games. And that's why I didn't appreciate Sam lumping them both in that speech. But let's move forward now, okay? This is how the beef started. She sees value in Faisal like other women do. The other women plus JC, like I mentioned, they all see the purpose of keeping Faisal because they need someone to go after Brett and Tyler. And if you look at how this jury is shaping up, it's going to be majority level 6, it feels like, especially if Bailey flips. It's going to definitely be majority level 6. And if you have a majority level 6 jury, then they need somebody to go after these people. That way they don't lose the vote from targeting them. You feel it, dig me? That's the whole purpose of that. So let me decode that. Now, she sees value in him because he's the only person who can target them. He is the secret Islamic weapon. And I'm in no way trying to say that to imply terrorism. I just said that to say it. Now, notice how right before, this is something I noticed in today's episode, and you know me, even though I'm going to put Bailey on blast later, I'm still very honest and very realistic with the edit, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a decode the matrix part of tonight's rant. Did you guys notice how right before Big Brother 12 Rachel Riley came in? I can't stand her. I'm sure most of y'all, if y'all like my channel, can't stand her. But did y'all notice how right before she came in, they went out of their way to show Bailey looking stupid, talking about, I almost put an empty pan in the oven. Why was that necessary to show on television? Why? And they didn't really give Bailey any other TV time all day. I think Casey had one more confessional than Bailey did. I might be wrong, but notice how they're all of a sudden giving Casey shine. You feel me? It's very weird, okay? So you mean to tell me the one thing Bailey says on tonight's episode, I might be wrong about the one thing she said, but it feels like she only said one thing, but you mean to tell me that one thing she says, it has something to do with her putting an empty pan in the oven? That has nothing to do with strategy. That has nothing to do with the game. That has nothing to do with a competition. That has nothing to do with anything. They chose to put that in there. You know why? Because they wanted to dog whistle and throw a bone to all the people that hate Bailey based off Sunday's episode. So I want y'all to decode that bullshit right away. Pay attention. And honestly, I'm going to be honest. During that veto competition, I thought JC was very funny tonight. Usually I'm hard on the guy, but you know what? Today, if he keeps doing shit like he did today, the motherfucker had bandages on his face like he was Nelly. You know, he had the ice pack on his head, the ice pack on his groin. I thought that was very funny. Now, it probably was very forced, like in terms of CBS probably saying, hey, JC, don't you want to do this? You know, most likely they led him into doing all of that shit. But, hey, I'm sure they led Johnny Mack into doing some shit too, and we thought he was funny. So I'm not going to be a complete hypocrite here and act like some of the things that are forced isn't funny. But I just wanted to give him a shout out for that as well before we get into feeds talk. So now let's jump into feeds, ladies and gentlemen. I have stalled long enough for y'all to get in here. Let's talk this tea. Let's talk this tea, okay? No one's safe for criticism. That is a disclaimer. So do not get in your feelings when Bailey gets this work tonight, okay? I'm hearing the excuses on Twitter, y'all, okay? I am always going to be consistent. I want y'all to be consistent. Now, let's start off with Monday's feeds. Let's get it popping. 12:42 p.m. Camera 3, Monday afternoon. Faisal tells Caitlyn she did the other side's dirty work by getting out Swaggy over someone on their side. I love this from him, okay? Because slowly but surely, Faisal is starting to become the player. He is starting to showcase the potential that I saw in him early in the game. Now, when I figured out he was a recruit, I naturally thought he had limitations. But because he is a recruit, it's almost like it's endearing to a lot of these house guests. They're almost too busy staring at all these other people that are clearly super fans like Scotty. They look at Scotty, the other side, ladies and gentlemen, the other side truly views Scotty as a bigger threat than Faisal just because they know they cannot use Scotty's emotions against them, okay? And because they know they can't do that, that makes Scotty more dangerous because they can't control his HOHs. Whereas if Faisal wins, they honestly believe by sending Bailey to be a double agent here and there, or maybe even they believe by sending Caitlyn that they can probably get Faisal to do their bidding. But Faisal is slowly but surely proving he's not the one for the bullshit. But let me get back into these notes now. So, so he talked to her about doing the dirty work of the other side of getting out Swaggy C. Caitlyn claims it wasn't her intention, but she wanted to make everyone value her more by fracturing this side. Caitlyn is so mad that Faisal broke his promise to her by using the veto on Haley, but he reminds her that she lied to him until she told him the plan about backdooring Swaggy. I'm glad he did that because that's an eye for an eye, Caitlyn. Your lie isn't less detrimental than his lie. In fact, his lie saved your friend. Your lie got rid of his friend. So let's call that a spade a spade. You're full of shit if you think that your lie is somehow better than his. All lies are lies. Okay, the same way all sins are sins. Okay, and he needed to keep the probability of being picked in veto as high as possible. The reason why I want to mention this is because Faisal, in my opinion, displayed how good of a player he was in this conversation. See, a bad player wouldn't give someone like Caitlyn, who is highly emotional and highly reactionary, wouldn't give them a logical argument like, I had to lie to you, because if I didn't, there was no chance you'd pick me. And if you don't pick me, there's no way I can save you or her. The way he positioned that, very, very smart. And to my knowledge, no one gave him that to say to her. He came up with that on his own. So I thought that was very good of a play because it put Caitlyn in a position where she couldn't even really hate on that. Okay, she couldn't really hate on that excuse. Of course, she didn't like the decision, but she couldn't really hate on that excuse because it was the right one. And, Tyler comes in and out. He's trying to talk to him. Faisal is not being finessed by you, Tyler. That's not finna work. And Faisal is starting to understand your game more and more by day, which is why I'm starting to grow more and more hope about Faisal's game in the long run. If he can possibly win this next HOH, I think he's guaranteed jury. I think he is. If he can win the next one, get one person out that is a huge threat to his game, change the momentum of the game, because we don't know who might or might not return tomorrow. But I truly believe if he can win the next HOH or even just survive the next one and maybe win the double evictions HOH, I think as long as he makes jury, it is bad for Bailey's game. And I'll explain a little bit later. Okay, I'm gonna keep setting that down, that trail. You feel me? Now, this is sound gameplay from Faisal. I'm very impressed with his explanation under pressure. It did make tons of sense why he had to keep lying to her. Now, Caitlyn can dish it out, but she can't really take it. Scotty admits Faisal wearing Bailey's Texas A&M hat would have made him look like a total jackass if he didn't use a veto on her, and I agree. And did y'all notice how Caitlyn pointed out, oh, he's wearing boots? Like, you're so thirsty. Did you see the saltball face when Haley chose him for veto? She was so mad. She's like, I wanted to be the one to pick him. She was so pissed, coach. She was so pissed. She was so pissed. Now, Sam reveals to the whole house what her power is only after the veto was used. We saw it case in point now. Then she tells Rockstar if she gets evicted, she has a chance to come back, but we just saw that she told everyone that, so I don't even know why she reiterated it to her on feeds, but because that could have been taken as condescending from Rockstar's positioning. Now, but I think this is all bullshit because she's only revealing this power now because she broke her promise to Rockstar and feels guilty. Okay, now that we know the promise isn't so much that she won't put her up, and now that we know that her promise is more geared towards, hey, if I happen to send you home, I'll throw you some money on the back end, which is against the rules of Big Brother, by the way. You're supposed to like be disciplined heavily if you say something like that, but since she's a production's pet, she won't be disciplined heavy at all. That's the only reason why Rockstar was walking on eggshells explaining the story to Faisal in the first place on the hammock. Okay, but yeah, so I truly believe she just feels guilty about putting Rockstar up, mainly because that was her fourth choice. And you even heard, I think it was Sam who said, has anyone had to nominate this many people? And it's funny because there's like a meme on Twitter right now of Cody from last season just staring off into the ethos. You know what I'm saying? Like that blank stare that Cody has. It was pretty funny, but yeah, I just thought I should mention that. Now, Sam says it's just a game on a TV show now, just because she broke her word. More proof she ain't shit. What you mean it's just a game on a TV show? If it's just a game on a TV show, you wouldn't let JC talk you out of not backdooring him, knowing he would stay anyway. You feel me? If it's just a game on a TV show. But by her reneging on her initial thought process, it number one shows she's not this straight shooter. It also shows that she is playing the game because she wants to tell everyone, oh, I'm the one that's not playing the game here. No, you are playing the game. You are playing the game. You have a fucking app twist. You're definitely playing the fucking game. You just didn't use it yet because you didn't have to. That doesn't mean you're not playing. Now, Rockstar then leaves the backyard mad because she knows Sam ain't shit either. If Rockstar is looking at this like I am, it makes no sense for her to reveal this information now unless she feels guilty. It also explains why she's smoking so many cigarettes. Like Sam was smoking a lot of cigarettes after that veto ceremony. She looked really stressed out, y'all. She aged about 10 years after that shit. Now, she's stressed about backdooring her. But if Sam is playing a game where she claims she has nobody, why did she put up 3 women from the same side under the premise of female empowerment and female etiquette when Rachel and Angela both flirted with men? And also keep in mind, she also criticizes the clothing that Caitlyn and Haley wear, implying that it's very sexually suggestive and very kinky and very beneath them. But if you watch feeds, Rachel and Angela will be in the have-not room all fucking day wearing lingerie damn near. Sam don't say shit about them. Sam didn't put up Rachel. You see what I'm saying? So this is clearly an excuse that was fed to her by production, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, whenever you have a reason for nominating people that can be used for other people that never have touched a block, it's because production created it because they know if they come up with something too elaborate, it won't even sound like it came from Sam's mouth because she's a very simplistic person. Okay, so they have to give her a simplistic excuse. You feel where I'm coming from? Now, shit, like I said, but hell, Rachel tried to be Scotty's first kiss. Remember that shit? So if you're truly this protective of Scotty, Sam, why don't you hold that against Rachel? Because you're working with Rachel. And that's why I wish these people would just understand this. At the end of the day, she nominated 3 people that were all from the Sacred Six Falte Alliance, meaning Sam is showing you what side she's on. Now, they already knew that because Sam voted to get out Winston, even though she had a closer relationship with Winston than Brett. So she already showed y'all she's heartless in that vote alone. But that's just something important for me to mention as I build my case as to why this week is crazy. Now, why do these 2 women get to skate by, but Rockstar gets to be lied to and lied on? Okay, Rockstar has done nothing to qualify with the speech that Sam gave to Haley and Caitlyn, but Rachel and Angela do. So clearly by doing this, Sam is exposing that she does have an alliance. And since she's close to Tyler, who is lying about not only being close to Rachel and Angela, it also implicates Tyler in on these nominations as well. But once again, great game players aren't in this season, okay? They got a few sprinkled in, but the majority of the great game players are Tyler, Rachel, Scotty. That's pretty much the great game players in the house, okay? The rest of them are kind of like just high-end recruits that are entertaining here and there, but I wouldn't really put it past the rest of them to, well, actually, Brett is starting to prove himself too. I'd say Brett is on the highest level of the tier below the Tyler, Rachel, and Scotty. I'd say Brett is 1 tier below that. And the reason why I'm putting Scotty above Brett is because Scotty's in a much worse position, but Scotty somehow had the best, most entertaining HOH by far, and he somehow laid in the cut the next week and didn't get targeted. That shows his skill level, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, that's something if Tyler would have done it, we would have been throwing a fucking parade for lifeguard Jesus. Scotty does it. You know what I'm saying? People give him credit, but it's kind of like, oh, you're still on the fucked up side, so who cares? It's kind of like that. Well, anyway, Sam was better off putting up Rachel and then revealing the twist to at least come off as someone who wants them to win the comp and come back. But by nominating Rockstar, she increases the odds of someone not coming back. Sam claims to be this straight shooter that doesn't get the game, but by nominating Rockstar, it ensures someone from the other side leaves, also exposing her knowing the game. She had a built-in excuse to nominate Rachel, but it feels like production talked her out of it, so she snapped and told people her power out of anger and guilt. Now, 12:49 p.m. This is still Monday. I don't remember what cam, but it's JC and Tyler involved, so just look for that. You feel it, dig me? Now that the veto was used and Rockstar is up, JC begins working with Tyler on how to get out Caitlyn. Tyler is way too sure there is no battle back. I think he's been reassured by production that all the people he screwed over won't be back in the game. And keep this in your head, because it's interesting. All these other players assume Swaggy's coming back, but Tyler is 100% sure it's not possible. How is that? It's because production can choose to confirm or deny suspicions in the DR as they see fit. That way they can always say, hey, we didn't cheat. They asked us the question and we just answered it. But in the same token, you can't discuss production while you're outside of the DR. So there's no way for anyone to compare notes as to whether it's been denied or confirmed when someone else was in the DR. So peep the con game going on here as well, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, now, he's using this as, I'm talking about Tyler, he's using this as an excuse for why they shouldn't vote out Caitlyn. JC is mad at Faisal for using the veto, then calls him a little bitch for lying to him about using the veto. Interesting how the guy who thinks midget is equivalent to the N-word can call someone else a little bitch, but if someone were to call him that, TMZ would take a hold of the video clip. So a short person can call me a little bitch and I gotta just take it? Fuck out of here. You call me that shit, oh, I'm calling you a lot of shit too back. We can do the dozens, coach. Let's get it popping. But anyway, this is important to provide proof of him knowing what he was doing when he said the N-word in the first place. Because if he is going out of his way in an ironic way to call other people little bitches, I mean, he walks into a room and he'll see men and women in a room and he'll say, hey, little girls. He'll call all of the men a little girl. You feel it, dig me? Oh, it's just a joke. It's just JC. Okay, but if he was a black man, would it just be a joke or would it be a problem? That's the question I want to know. But that's neither here nor there. Now, why is Tyler so sure Caitlyn will still stay if they vote her out? You know, Tyler this entire week was talking like, she's going to come back, bro. She's going to come back. Has production been reassuring him that they will make sure that this will be the easiest puzzle of all time if Caitlyn gets eliminated? Have they also reassured him if someone else goes, they will make it the most difficult? Like, these questions need to be answered, coach, because Tyler is way too sure of way too many things that should be unknown. Okay, now, hold up. Okay. And he also seems to be more worried about not voting with level 6 than anything else. Once again, showing he isn't playing this game where he's willing to fool everyone because he's loyal to one side, juxtaposed to JC, who is actually in the middle, trying to get Tyler to play in the middle with him. Tyler is also making all his allies feel perfectly secure with knowing Swaggy can't come back to make them not want to vote out Caitlyn. Because let's be honest, the best play, if there was a battle back, would be to evict Caitlyn because she has the best chance to beat Swaggy over Rockstar. But by Tyler being spoiled by production on the results of Thursday and what they entail, he can tell his allies information that gives them an unfair advantage heading into the vote on Thursday. Level 6 or level 5 appears to be all gunning for Faisal just because he saved Haley and put the house in a disarray. These people are so entitled that they think Faisal should play their game for them and just be content with it. You know, how they expected Caitlyn to do the same and now they're expecting Bailey to do the same. Pay attention here. Follow me. They keep trying to paint this narrative of Faisal not understanding the game. which is good for his game, by the way, that they keep painting this. But if he truly didn't understand the game, he wouldn't have conveyed his strategy so eloquently to Caitlyn or tricked JC, who thought he had Faisal in his pocket. And JC assumed he wouldn't use veto either. That's why JC was so mad, because he knew Caitlyn was out the door sitting next to Haley. But now, without Haley there, he now knows there's a high probability that Caitlyn could stay. That's why he was pissed. But he's made up with Faisal, okay? You know, feel me? Because he needs Faisal to vote out Caitlyn. But now that he did use it, they're calling him an idiot that they all want out. This is hedging here at its finest, okay? Bailey wants to know why Sam is so loyal to the other group of people. She's telling Rockstar to keep digging in her future conversations with her because Sam is hiding something. Now notice, this is all before Bailey considers the flip. I want to keep driving this point home. Bailey right now is still on the home team, ladies and gentlemen. Caitlyn walks in and interrupts both of them with her white girl tear strategy. Bailey then segues to discussing a possible battle back and thinks Swaggy may come back. And this idea was almost incepted into her brain. Okay, and it is driving her into a form of insanity on top of her being on slop and on top of her cramping. These three things are the perfect storm to make Bailey act unlike herself. So I'm going to give her a little bit of a pass for the cramping and the slop together, but that still doesn't give her a pass for what she did to Faisal later, which I will explain. But follow me. This is still Monday, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I blame Tyler for this because he's been He's been pandering to Bailey over the weekend with "what if Swaggy comes back?" questions. But notice how he keeps telling his alliance when Bailey isn't around that there's zero chance Swaggy comes back. So you see what he's doing subtly to Bailey? He's driving her crazy by making her think a savior will come through the door for her. Okay, it's really fucked up, the tactics Tyler is using, but it's working effectively. So I'm gonna give him credit for the gameplay move itself. Okay, now this is proof he's using production's help to strengthen his team and weaken Bailey on purpose. This is no longer a conspiracy. It's a confirmed crime and an ongoing investigation. Ding! Supposedly, JC said something during the veto ceremony that may have hurt his game. We figured out what it is. Faisal and Tyler confirmed this in the storage room around 1 p.m. Sam admitted to JC her best friend in the house during the ceremony, and JC interrupted her speech by saying, "I don't think that's a good idea. We saw this. This has been confirmed as well." And that's why she chose Rockstar over him to go up. Interesting to see if they show this moment of JC on Wednesday, which they did. But once again, if Sam just wants Caitlyn gone, why would she nominate someone from her side that is hated more than Caitlyn? Especially when if she nominates one person from the other side, it's a guaranteed 6-4 vote regardless. Do the math. Sam ruined her own HOH by being a damn recruit. If JC is up next to Caitlyn, everyone votes out Caitlyn. If Rachel is up next to Caitlyn, everyone votes out Caitlyn. Okay, it was a simple move for her, but she was scared, and I guarantee you Tyler was the one telling her, "No, you can't do this week. Come on, come on." Okay, and production. But anyway, Tyler's an extension of production. Okay, but anyway, so what would make Sam do this if it isn't production? And how would Tyler know to start planting seeds of a battle back so early while also knowing it's impossible if it isn't his twist to ask about? Because production has made sure both of them would be on the same page from the start. And that's why they made Sam win the HOH this week over Tyler against her best interests, just so they could further show Tyler is the HOH who isn't. But of course, the plan went completely south. Okay, Sam did whatever the fuck she wanted. She didn't really listen to Tyler at all. Okay, if Tyler had his way, he would have said, "Hey, backdoor Scotty." You know what I'm saying? Backdoor Bailey. He definitely wants Bailey gone. Oh, Tyler wants her gone real bad. Oh man, real bad. But yeah, so at the end of the day, that's why they wanted them on the same page against Sam's best interests. Okay, you know, now Faisal is trying to get Tyler to see that they both have won comps and have equal blood on their hands, so it's pivotal that they work together in the coming weeks with Scotty. I thought this was a great play by Faisal here. The women are clearly trying to come together. They clearly have the huge majority. They're up 3. They're about to be up 2 after one goes this week. So why won't me, Scotty, you, and Brett come together for a couple of weeks, even it out, 3-3, both gone, and now the jury starts, and at least now it's equal men to equal women voting. Okay, I agree with Faisal 100% here, because if a woman sits at the end with a man, I'm worried this will be another BB18 situation where Nicole wins just because she has a vagina. I'm worried about that. Okay, I don't have a problem with you rewarding someone who deserved to win, but I have a problem with you rewarding someone just because they're a woman, just because they're a man. Reward them because they deserve it. Don't reward them just because I want to see a woman beat a man. Well, then you're not voting off the best game, then, are you? That's just how I feel. Okay. Of course, Tyler lets this go through one ear and out the other. It seems like the only man Tyler is willing to work with is Brett. Everyone else, from a men's perspective, is just expendable now. Even JC is starting to prove to be. Haley walks in and interrupts them, waits for Tyler to leave, then gives Faisal a kiss and a hug. Okay. He runs by her what he told Caitlin to prep her for the bullshit. Haley reveals Tyler speaking to her, and they both are confused about JC admitting to being Sam's best friend. Because now they are starting to connect the dots that JC and Tyler had to have both flipped because both of them are close to Sam. This is where I started to go, oh, it started to get real. Faisal and Haley are already proving to be a great team. Haley then tells him JC thinks Faisal jeopardized his game by using the veto. But how could his game be jeopardized if he's Sam's best friend? Okay, you see what I'm saying? Now, 2:40 p.m., camera 3, JC and Faisal. Okay, and y'all know JC's pissed right now. JC claims to have never lied to Faisal, which is bullshit. We know he's lied to him before because he keeps lying about the last vote involving him and Tyler flipping. Okay, so Faisal tells him he didn't know he could have went up because JC didn't tell him it was a possibility. JC then tells him he isn't smart to his face. Why does JC think Faisal owes him something when JC has been hiding his relationship from Tyler from him? Okay, Faisal has been in the dark the whole game, and it's because JC has allowed it to happen because he doesn't think Faisal is worth giving this information to. So JC is purely selfish here, complaining so much. It's interesting how Tyler was allowed to use his veto on Scotty, who he wasn't close to, but no one is mad at him because Swaggy was backdoored. But then Faisal takes off his actual friend and they get mad. Man, fuck out of here with this bullshit. Another double standard. Why does Faisal have to tell anyone a damn thing when he wins the veto? They don't tell him shit, but expect him to be forthcoming with information. All these players are spoiled on the other side. Angela and KC don't even do anything, but they have a free ride to jury. This is why we need 20 house guests a season with more people of color to make these motherfuckers grow some nuts, okay? And this is why we also need more double and triple evictions because people be way too comfortable on these Thursday nights. We got to make them feel some tension, coach. It's way too easy. It's way too easy. Then Faisal admits to production not allowing him to talk to anyone once he went into the diary room on purpose, which I believe was them setting him up to be painted as the villain because they caused an instant lockdown soon as he went in. Notice that shit. Peep game how they changed feeds right after he started calling out production on this bullshit. The fix is in. They didn't want Faisal to speak to anybody. They wanted him to be painted as the biggest target heading into next week, okay? And I'd argue they also wanted Bailey to throw Faisal under the bus to also contribute to the same factor. But that's neither here nor there. I will get into that later. Then JC starts finally sharing the tea about Tyler. He tells Faisal that Caitlin has feelings for Tyler and admitted it to him. And she also told Tyler Faisal likes her, not the other way around, and she doesn't want to hurt him. Really, Caitlin? You talk about this dude's penis as being very scabby, but you've never felt this brother at all. Why you always lying? Let me not get copyright strike. I think she said this to make Tyler want her because she clearly sees Tyler wants Bailey only because someone else does. Faisal then asks him if Caitlin leaves, do they have Tyler on their side? JC thinks so, but it's still up in the air. JC, you are being misled completely by Tyler here. Now, JC claims Brett going home was best for his game, but if that was the case, he wouldn't have flipped. Then JC implies Tyler is dumb to cover up his game a bit too. So I'm lost what JC is trying to accomplish right now. They leave the HOH, and Rockstar talks to Sam about life outside the house and how she can't wait to hang out and invite her to meet her friends and family. This is important because it makes Sam feel like more of a piece of shit before she walks outside. Sam goes outside and cries because nobody knows what it's like to have to backdoor someone they like. Angela says she isn't bothered by her decision, but what else is Angela gonna say? She's on the other side. I don't even get why Sam is upset. She made it seem like no one could talk her out of her initial noms. Then when one gets vetoed and she wants to be sad about it, that contradicts the tough straight shooter shit she was peddling earlier in the week. And she just got done telling Rockstar it's just a game on a TV show. So why is she sad? What? This doesn't even make sense. Shouldn't she be preaching? Well, practicing what she preaches here? Come on now. Sam, what's going on, coach? You know, I want that same energy. I want that same energy, okay? 3:42 p.m., camera 3, JC is talking to Sam. JC tells Sam that Steve was a bully during week 1. Now, I thought this was interesting because, you know, week 1, we got feeds, but I didn't really see Steve as a bully at all. I mean, I saw him as a guy who couldn't fit in socially with the dynamic because of the age gap. But I never saw him as a bully. But it's interesting to hear JC speak of him in such a way. He even calls Steve a little bitch. But once again, that's something he would never say to his face. So I really don't respect people that have everything to say behind your back, but then when they're in front of you, they want to give you compliments. Kind of like how J Mart's fake ass wants to call out. Who did he call out today on Twitter? He said something about, oh, Sam is mad at the girls for cuddling up with Faisal, but now she's cuddling up with him. So I went on Twitter and I clapped back and I said, motherfucker, you hated on Swaggy for weeks. But then as soon as he got out the game, you started kissing his ass. Shut your dumb ass up. You feel it, dig me? I ain't here for none of that bullshit. And peep game how the emojis Josh uses looks like a Caucasoid human being in those emojis. A little self-hate there. Anyway, shit it on you. Anyway, then Sam says she hates bullying and personal shots. Huh? Wait, you just got what? Huh? And calling out character because she called Caitlyn and Haley's character out. So I don't really get what Sam is doing here. She's actually being a hypocrite. And Caitlyn catches on to this bullshit and calls her out for it. So peep game on this. Caitlyn catches Sam in this lie and asks her how she didn't attack her character. Sam says they are using being beautiful to their advantage. Sounds a little jealous on your part, Sam. You're using your beauty to your advantage. So Rachel and Angela aren't doing that? Interesting. Only these two girls are using their beauty. And they're much younger than I believe Rachel and Angela is. So shouldn't you be chastising those older women more for acting immature as opposed to the younger women who will eventually grow out of it? See the bullshit? I see the bullshit. I got your back, y'all. I got your back. And I don't even like Caitlyn, but someone needs to defend her here because that's bullshit. That's bullshit, Sam. You know, but once again, I keep trying to tell y'all, Sam has a crush on Faisal, man. Anyway, Sam says they are using their beauty to their advantage, which sounds like Sam is being jealous because she looks 40 on a given day. Okay, but it's even less fair. Sam was handed a twist for doing nothing in the game. So who is she to talk about what isn't fair? You feel me, coach? Who is she? Okay, now let the Sam expose party commence. Dilly. You feel me? Sam keeps saying her game is no game, but she's clearly playing the game if she didn't nominate someone like Rachel or JC. Of course, JC defends Sam in front of Caitlyn because she kept him off the block. But the way he tried to paint her petty ass speech as constructive criticism was nonsense, JC. Just shut the fuck up, bruh. You safe, dog. But he hates Caitlyn, so of course he's going to defend even the fuckery. Now, JC leaves to go inside, and the conversation ends there because Sam can't stand Caitlyn. 3:53 p.m., camera 1, Bailey and Rockstar. The house is blaming Rockstar and Caitlyn still for JC and Tyler's flip. Bailey told Rockstar this and wants her not to give up, but Rockstar knows she's all but gone at this point. And honestly, at this moment on Monday, I didn't blame her. It was right after the veto ceremony. I don't blame her for feeling this way. And see, Bailey has been fortunate enough to never be on the block. So whenever she talks down to someone and tells them what they need to do when they're on the block, it's like, Bailey, chill. You haven't experienced this yet. Also, Bailey, you have a power app in your pocket. It's real easy from your tower to be looking down at the peasants and tell them what they need to do when you've never felt that heat yet. So I would just like you to keep that same energy when you're on the block too. You know what I'm saying? Don't flip to avoid the block though. Anyway, the conversation ends on a sour note with Rockstar feeling worse than she did before because Bailey is talking to her like Rockstar has a shot to stay, but she's talking down to her. Later, even Bailey will see it's no reason to be on the wrong end of the vote. So Bailey starts telling people, oh, I'm voting with the House, but I want to drill this point home early to you all, ladies and gentlemen. After this veto was used, and once Rockstar was on the block next to Caitlyn, the vote was automatically a 5-5 split by default. Okay, let me explain. Tyler, Brett, Rachel, Angela, Casey. This side, right? Scotty, Faisal, Haley, Bailey, and JC. That's 5 versus 5 right there. That is a tie vote. So why is Bailey talking about she's voting with the House? Okay. That should have told her alliance immediately as soon as she started talking that reckless that she plans to make it a 6-4 vote and then say that's the House, when in reality, Bailey, you're trying to be the swing vote. But I'll get into further detail on that as well. But it's important for me to set the table that this is a 5-5 split as soon as Rockstar gets put on the block, before any strategy really goes down. Now, and trust me, we're finna get into this now. 4:56 p.m. camera 1. Bailey, Rachel, KC. Rachel, Brett, and KC are discussing votes and realize they need one person from the other side to flip. Okay, they need one person. It's a 5-5 split. JC is so anti-Caitlyn, they know he's a lost cause. So they're going for the next best thing. All of a sudden now, let's let Bailey in on all the information. Let's offer her a deal now. We couldn't offer her a deal a week ago. We couldn't offer her a deal 2 weeks ago. You know, we couldn't even offer her a deal as soon as Swaggy left because we still looked at her as an op. But now, because we need someone's vote, let's make it seem as if we're doing her a favor, when in reality, we're trying to get her to save the person who backdoored her man. You feel me here? Which is one of the most heartless things you can get any person to do, okay? Which goes to show Casey don't give a fuck about her. But okay, I'm going to get into further detail, y'all. Like I said, they know they can't get JC to vote out Rockstar because he hates Caitlyn more. So they focus their sights on Bailey. They plan to tell Bailey she is the swing vote to get her to flip and ensure her Caitlyn won't go after her. I hate this because they already have the votes. If it's a 5-5 split, though, Sam will get rid of Caitlyn. She's already admitted this. I'm getting rid of Caitlyn. Now, as recent as today, she's been talking like production's been swindling her a little bit, talking about, I'm going to put 2 dots in a cup, and whichever one I pick, that's who I'm going to get rid of if it's a tie. It's like, Sam, what happened to the straight shooter? I ain't scared of shit, Sam. The do-it-yourself expert, the HGTV lesbian. Whatever happened to Sam? All I'm seeing right now is Samantha, coach. That's all I'm seeing. Scary ass Samantha. Somebody scared her with the fear of God or something. I don't know what happened to Sam. Sam been acting real sketchy, okay? What I don't get is, what is the incentive for Bailey to betray the people what is Bailey's incentive to betray the people who didn't betray Swaggy? Is it just to save her app as long as she can? But what good is that app if she has no allies in the game or anyone that trusts her when she uses it? It just makes life easier for the other side. And what about Faisal? He knows her secret. So her betraying him immediately puts the app's anonymity into question and exposes Bailey completely. I just don't get this play here. It makes absolutely no sense, especially this week. If you want to do it next week, okay. But you mean to tell me you're willing to save Caitlyn just so you could be at the cool kids table? I think that's some sucker shit. And I feel like everybody should think this is some sucker shit based off the shit that we already know regarding these girls who are recruiting her right now that thinks her fucking complexion's ghetto. Okay? So these are the girls you're going to run to save your fucking game? When you got an app in your pocket that can shake some shit up? Come on, man. Come on. I don't like seeing this scared shit. Okay? This feel like some scared nigga shit. I'm being honest. Now, Bailey will be doing exactly what Caitlyn did, essentially, if she flips here. I'm hearing people on Twitter telling me, it's not the same, Dave. It's not the same, Dave, because she was never really in the Falte. She was never really in the... Shut your dumb ass up. It's the same damn thing. She flips. She puts Scotty. She puts Faisal. She puts Haley all in harm's way. And these are the people who held down Swaggy, especially Rockstar. Rockstar was one of the few people on that side that understood the man, who knew he wasn't some full of himself ass motherfucker, who actually been around people like Swaggy before in her everyday life and knew that there was actually a method to his madness. Whereas everyone else on that other side that you're trying to run to right now, those people didn't even give his brother a chance, okay? So it's multifaceted why I don't like this move, okay? This isn't just A plus B equals C, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, there's layers to this shit why I don't like it. And if you think the edit is gonna back up Bailey's decision in flipping, oh, you got the game fucked up. Especially when they just made her look dumb. Oh, I'm bringing an empty pan into the oven. Come on, man. They are not gonna make her look good for this. All right, so let's keep it moving. How can she be the one to hold a grudge with Caitlyn if she's willing to do the same thing Caitlyn did? This is where I think production took the wheel and flipped Bailey. I think they took the fucking wheel. Because think about this vote without a Bailey flip. It would be Rachel. All right, I already mentioned those votes. All right, I ain't really got to say that again. Production doesn't want Sam to look bad, and they don't want Tyler's side to lose another number. So what better way to kill two birds with one stone than for level 6 to all of a sudden see Bailey as an asset to join the team? Interesting. As soon as Winston leaves, y'all don't recruit her right then and there. Oh, let's wait until Faisal uses the veto. Come on, man. This is fake shit, man. How does Bailey not see this as fake shit? So now they can change the narrative for Bailey in exchange for her to be a sellout. But we know they ain't going to change the narrative much. Come on, man. They still making JC look like his shit don't stink. So you think they're going to make Bailey look good after being insensitive towards JC? No, they can't afford to pick all of these sides when they throw certain people under the bus a week ago. They can't afford to. Also notice how production isn't shooting down any speculation of Swaggy coming back on purpose. That way Bailey is naturally more okay with flipping, believing it's best for Swaggy's game to come back and play with level 6. See this? This is what makes me different. Because I'll break this shit down. You're not finna watch this rant and come back and be, no, it's different. No. We gon' filibuster all the excuses tonight, okay? Don't worry. Just chill. Enjoy yourself tonight. We finna give y'all this work tonight, okay? And we can't be the people that shit on white people for defending white people's actions no matter what. No matter what they do, if we're going to be the people that defend black people's actions no matter what. Now, I'm not saying Bailey did something racist. I'm just saying this is poor gameplay, and we should expect better from her. But if we just accept anything from her just because she's a black player, then we're doing her a disservice as a supporter. Come on, man. We lose credibility in this community the same way we joke about jokers. We're being no different from jokers. Have some consistency, y'all. Have some consistency, all right? Now, Rachel and Casey both know Bailey is thirsty to be in level 6 because Bailey keeps reminding people how Swaggy is the only reason she was on that side in the first place. And by doing this, she's ruining her side's morale, and she keeps giving confidence to the other side that she keeps spending time with. So, Bailey, how are you the person that's going to chastise Rockstar constantly for saying, I want to be with my kids. I want to see my family. I wouldn't mind going home. How are you going to chastise her for talking defeated when you're constantly talking about your regret in this game for being on the side you're on? It's the same exact thing. What you're saying isn't good for your team to hear either. But see, there's no one to check you on that shit, though. That's what's really real, man. Now, Rachel and KC both think Scotty is the biggest threat on the other side as long as they can flip Bailey, which is interesting because Scotty speaks the world of Casey, so it shows she ain't shit. But anyway, so Bailey flipping could prove to be terrible for Scotty's game too. This I find very interesting because when Scotty was HOH, he had nothing but nice things to say about Casey with Bailey. Remember that? I even mentioned it in a rant. And I was the one person saying Scotty is making a mistake thinking he can trust Casey. That was me. Okay, so I'm gonna bring that back to the bottom of the map. You feel me? Shout outs to Wheezy. Now, I hate this for Bailey because now we're gonna see the same people who said she cries too much or is insensitive towards short people standing her for running to lifeguard Jesus for protection. You're gonna see it. You're gonna see a lot of people that hated her last week. As soon as they get any one of this in the edit that she's flipping to the Make America Great Again side, all these people go, you know what? I always like something about this girl. You're going to see this fuckery go down, okay? And I want y'all to hold these people accountable too, because they weren't down for her when she was in a bad position, so they don't deserve to root for her when she's in a decent position. You feel me? And I'd argue if she flips, she's in a worse position in the long run. She has no shot of winning if she flips. That's my argument, honestly. Now, I bet you the edit hides all speculation of Swaggy returning too. Notice how in this episode, no one mentioned Swaggy. You feel me? They let Sam reveal that information. Now, tomorrow, it'll be interesting for us to see. Do they even allow in the edit there to be any talk of Swaggy possibly returning to provide any type of context to why Bailey is making this flip happen? They probably won't because they want Bailey to look crazy. Okay. And see, without the context of her thinking Swaggy's coming back, she does look crazy. She does. Okay. And even with the context of thinking Swaggy goes back, I think it's still crazy because Swaggy would never work with these people. He would never work with Swaggy is way too real, even for his girl. He's way too, because Tyler wouldn't accept him over there. Casey wouldn't accept him over there. We all know this. So I feel like it's dumb for Bailey to even think, oh, if Swaggy comes back, I'll be fine. I'll just get him to flip over to level 6 with. No, that's not going to happen, coach. Okay? And I'm turned up right now. You know you turning up when sweat get in your eyes, coach. This is the passion coming out. Okay? Now, all right. I almost lost my place for a second, all right? But yeah, like I said, this I find very interesting because when Scotty was HOH, he had nothing but nice things to say about Casey, and I was the one person saying Scotty shouldn't trust her. I hate this for Bailey because now we're going to see people standing her for running to Tyler. I bet you the edit hides all speculation of Swaggy returning too. That way they can make Bailey look like the person who betrayed her team for a group of people who have all been racially insensitive at some point in the game. This is a if you can't beat them, join them kind of thing. That never works for any player, unless you're the Ian Terry nerd archetype. But even then, he benefited from a lot of things like a returnee being in the game. You feel me? Would Ian have won that game sitting next to Shane? Probably fucking not. Okay, so that's important to mention too. In an all newbies game, this doesn't work. People see you as fake, as a rat. The same way they probably will never reward Caitlyn with the win. But I'd argue she's been on everyone's radar for so long. If she makes it to the end, she deserves to win. You feel me? Because y'all are fucking stupid. Okay? That's what's really real. Now, for Rachel to say, and see, this is what really pissed me off. Rachel's still talking to Casey, and I think she's talking to Angela at this point, but she says something to the effect of, if you're tired of being out of the loop, vote this way. That's what she was telling Casey. We should approach Bailey and say, if you're tired of being out of the loop, you should vote this way. Like, first off, that's blackmail in a way. That's coercing someone in a way. You feel me? Like, that's almost borderline extortion. You feel it, dig me? It's like, oh, if you want to be on production side, you better join us. And see, that goes back to my last rant. Remember I said it was real suspicious for Caitlyn to call Bailey, I think she said she was being stubborn. And I said, was she talking about Bailey being stubborn with production or being stubborn with her? Because I don't think Caitlyn really cares, or I don't think Caitlyn could really quantify what being stubborn with her really means when clearly Caitlyn knows they don't have a place in this game to be cool no more after getting rid of Swaggy. So I thought that was all dog whistling to production. But anyway, okay, I think that quote was just pure cocky and condescending on Rachel's part. But once again, she has already expressed, oh, we've known where the votes are going to lie each week, guys. And it'll keep going that way. Of course she feels this way because she's been on a fucking CBS magazine. And only someone who's been on a CBS magazine will be so confident to knowing where the votes will lie each week. Rachel seems to really dislike Scotty, and Casey doesn't like him just because they can't manipulate his emotions, which I mentioned earlier, but they sound like a bunch of haters if you ask me. Now, to be clear on something, Angela and Casey's next threat is both facial, whereas with Rachel, her next threat is Scotty. So that's something I want to mention now in case I forget to later. Then they have the nerve to say if Swaggy comes back, Bailey will be on their side, so he will as well. How the fuck do they know this? You see what I'm saying? Like, they just assume this brother is just going to do what they want him to do because he's been humbled by being sent home. You know what I'm saying? He got a mind of his own, coach. But anyway, if Swaggy were to return, Casey and Tyler would immediately work against him just to make sure he couldn't be with Bailey in the jury house. They don't want them bumping up in that jury house and that sequester house. Come on, man. We both know this. Swaggy would have walked in the game this Thursday. They would send him right back out like they did Kaser and All-Stars. I mean, not All-Stars, but 6. Come on, let's be honest here. All right? They are scared of the unknown. That's what's really real, okay? They are not doing this because they want Swaggy on their team. They're actually doing this because they fear Swaggy and they don't know if he's really coming back or not. But I'd argue Rachel knows for a fact he isn't coming back, but she has to downplay what she does and doesn't know. That way she doesn't give away too much of being a super fan and being a damn ringer, okay? Now, they're scared of the unknown, like I said, but I find it very hard to believe Rachel doesn't already know Swaggy isn't coming back because Tyler knows. Why would CBS make sure one of production's pets knows the truth, but not the one who was a pet long before they knew of Tyler's existence? Doesn't add up, does it? It really doesn't. Now, I don't believe in coincidences. Now, I think Rachel is only playing up Swaggy coming back because she knows KC will run with it. People know KC hates Swaggy out of jealousy. So it's great for Rachel's game to keep driving the point home that Swaggy could return, because that makes KC want to lock down Bailey even harder before Thursday. And that's why they keep getting closer and closer, okay? So this play is very smart to fool the casuals or unawakened superfan, because it keeps the spotlight off production and their pets while also blackmailing Bailey into thinking flipping is her only option to maximize Swaggy's chances of coming back. Because think about it. Rockstar is far less of a competitor than Caitlyn is. So if it was a battle back, Swaggy will wash Rockstar, while it wouldn't be a cakewalk versus Caitlyn, even though I think Swaggy would still wash Caitlyn. But in the eyes of the house, though, it wouldn't be a wash. And don't discount the revenge factor of her maybe wanting Swaggy to be the one to get out Caitlyn as well. All of these things are speculation, but they are all admissible and realistic to what Bailey's motivations are for flipping could be. We need confessionals to know for sure, but even the confessionals could be doctored up a bit. And you see, we didn't get much from Bailey in this episode, okay? So they're going to need Bailey to be at least close to someone in power to give her a lot of confessional work, okay? Bailey walks in and they ask her to vote for Caitlyn, and she just agrees immediately to it before they even offer her a damn deal. This is another thing that pissed me off. She was too quick to say, I'll do whatever. I don't care. Like, they know you care because Caitlyn's up there. So why are you lying to these people? It doesn't do you any good in the long run. And that's why that's why Rachel, when Bailey isn't around, she keeps re-asking her group, are we sure we have Bailey? Are we sure? Because Bailey is playing the game to a point where she's unrealistic with her responses. Be honest. If you're not honest, they're going to think you're not really with them. But she clearly wants to flip bad. So she's almost doing things that are self-inflicting herself with both groups. It makes no sense. If you're going to go all in, go all in. But don't hedge, okay? She is hedging, okay? Now, this was poor on her part strategically because she basically volunteered to flip and didn't have to be convinced of it at all. Then Bailey goes out of her way to tell them she thinks the vote will be unanimous, which negates their need for her on their side if they can get their way with the vote without her flipping. So what deal do they have to offer you then if you tell them it's going to be unanimous? Another dumb play by Bailey here. And see, I'm not trying to just lump on her, but I want her to play well. I want her to, okay? And as long as people keep defending her for no matter what she does, I'll have to keep it 100 on my channel because it feels like everyone else is scared in the Black community to admit someone Black did something wrong. They did something wrong. Okay, it's just what it is. I admitted when Swaggy was playing poorly by telling Tyler too much information, but that doesn't mean I didn't see some great qualities in Swaggy too. You feel me? So this is all consistent on my part. When I see something wrong, I call it out. Okay, now, By her telling them the vote will be unanimous, it negates their need for her, like I said. I'm worried they can go back on their word at any moment later in the game and blindside her now because they never had to promise her anything concrete. Bailey jumping at this felt like production prepped her for it already as well. I'm disappointed in everybody but Scotty, Faisal, and Haley this week. Honestly, I'm disappointed in everybody but those three. Rachel proceeds to explain why she wants Rockstar gone. She says Rockstar is harder to go home over Caitlyn, because Caitlyn is an easier target to target. What Rachel isn't calculating is Caitlyn's GOAT upside. Once the jury phase hits, nobody will want her to go because everybody will see her as the person they can beat at the end, okay? Keeping her only helps Tyler's game. Nobody else's. Rockstar has a family. It's hard to beat a mother over a crazy person at the end. Rachel is way too adamant on keeping Caitlyn. It feels like Angela has got to her head because, like I told y'all, Angela was the one who was pushing for Rockstar to go before jury the most, okay? Bailey then agrees to be a double agent and spy on her alliance, which was just completely a bad sign for me. I saw this and I was like, come on, Bailey. You agreed to this dumb shit? All right. And she basically agreed to it to gather intel for the other alliance regarding the vote. Okay, she volunteered to do this. I don't get why this detail matters if Bailey makes it a 6-4 vote anyway. It's like they're trying to make her prove herself by doing their dirty work, like they made Caitlyn. And I'm going to keep driving the point home that she is playing the Caitlyn game this week by even contemplating this flip. This is such a heartless Caitlyn flip. This is so unnecessary. And for KC to agree to these terms shows she ain't shit. Because she'll feel all over this girl Bailey and spoon with her, but then let Rachel dictate all the rules of engagement concerning Bailey in level 6. Hell, Casey even lied to Bailey, telling her Tyler never thought about targeting her. What the fuck are you talking about, Casey? Tyler got you in the dark too. You shouldn't even be speaking on stuff you don't really know, because you're setting up Bailey to fail, okay? And we all know Tyler was putting Caitlyn up to targeting Bailey as early as the night before. So Casey is out of the loop too. So don't believe the hype that Casey is playing this great master class of a game because no one's mentioning her. No one's mentioning her because she has no shot to win. That's why they're not mentioning her. She's done nothing. And we're almost halfway into the damn game. If you ain't done nothing yet, if you don't have no app yet, if you don't have shit yet, then you better get lucky and win out. Otherwise, no one will think you've done anything. Okay? So whatever deal these girls think they're making with Bailey won't matter if Tyler says no, because he has the final say anyway. So if Bailey does all this betraying and then still gets targeted, we'll know it's all on Tyler. But I'm scared she won't be able to use her ability when it happens, because she'll think she's already on their side, which will lead to her being backdoored. Come on, man. This is what Bailey's doing. She's playing with fire here. Because if you think you can trust these people, and they've already voiced they think you have the super app. Rachel thinks she has the app. Angela thinks she has the app. Casey thinks she has the app. And if those three think she has the app, I know Tyler has got some type of inclination for production. She has the app. So with that being said, if you have all of these people, assuming you probably have an app at your disposal, and they choose to backdoor you, you're fucked. You're fucked. Because to my knowledge, her app can only be used for the nomination of 2 people. It cannot be used at a veto ceremony or nothing like that. You see what I'm saying? So she could be fucked up here. Now, I don't get why this detail, like I said, I don't get why this detail matters if Bailey makes it a 6-4 vote anyway. It's like they're trying to make her do the dirty work of Caitlyn. This is so unnecessary, and for Casey to agree to it shows she ain't shit. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Oh, shit, I already skipped this. Now, yeah, so if Bailey does all this betraying and still gets targeted, we'll know it's Tyler. But I'm scared she won't be able to use her ability because she'll be backdoored. It would be too much like production for this to happen to the black girl, okay? 6:35 p.m., camera 3. It's Haley and Faisal. I'm starting to believe Haley could be playing Faisal now. I know in the last episode I said the shit was cute, but I'm starting to catch on to Haley maybe trying to play Faisal against Brett and Scotty. There's something that ain't right here. Okay, I think Haley is banking on these 3 dudes fighting over her, and she will be the last one up by the time they all get rid of each other. Now, I might be wrong, but this is how it feels, so let me explain. I'm starting to believe Haley could be playing Faisal after she asked him to be friends with Brett. It sounded very random for her to just say, why don't you be friends with Brett? Okay, why would a man be friends with his direct competition? This is why Tyler targeted Swaggy in the first place. And Scotty doesn't like Brett and vice versa because Scotty just got rid of Winston. So why would she tell Faisal to do something that could ruin his relationship with Scotty? I don't get this play at all from Haley, okay? She claims Brett doesn't hang out with Faisal because Faisal doesn't hang out with him. And now that both of them lost their best friends, they should be friends. But that's a bunch of hogwash. Brett would never work with Faisal. And Faisal was told by JC already that he pissed off the house by saving Haley. So he's aware they are hating. And let me remind y'all to not forget about the time Brett said he couldn't wait to win HOH. That way he could invite Haley to his room to sleep in his bed. He said that. So this isn't the quote of a man who you can reconcile with, okay? So I just want to go ahead and filibuster that bullshit right then and there and decode it. And Brett got a hand job from Caitlyn later this night, okay? So he really could just be looking to be a homewrecker here. And yes, he did get a hand job. There is video clips on Twitter. Look for it if you haven't seen it yet. It's pretty fucked up. Caitlyn, maybe she's aware her man broke up with her. I don't know, because at this point, YOLO, she don't get no fuck. Now, important for us to keep our eyes on Brett and Faisal moving forward as a result of this. 8:45 p.m., camera 3, JC and Sam. JC tells Sam he'll take care of her. He'll take care of the damage control regarding her and her enemies. But he's having a hard enough time taking care of damage control in his own game after the veto ceremony. He approached Angela and she fed him a whole bunch of lies about considering to evict Caitlyn. So people are selling him a whole bunch of dreams right now, so he'll look like the person out of the loop the most. Sam wanted to ruin Caitlyn and Haley's game in defense of KC and JC, but she inadvertently ruined JC's game, well, JC's social currency in the game in the process. Sam tried to tell JC by putting him up, it would have lowered suspicion of how close they really are. But what Sam doesn't know is nobody thought they were that close until she made the fucking speech about them being close. So if you really was trying to do this, it was one of those double bluffs that was just really stupid. But see, this is why you have to give her advice that is as simplistic as she is. If it's a little bit too intricate, she will look like a dumbass. And she did look like a dumbass. Total choke job. Okay. But yeah, so even Rachel made fun of her. I'm talking about Sam, to Bailey and Casey by saying half the house thought that they were Sam's best friend during her speech. Did y'all peep Tyler's face when she said that? Tyler was like, that motherfucker looked like a scene out of Get Out, didn't he? He was like, motherfucker got drool coming up. Like, that motherfucker was scared, boy. Wasn't he scared? Boy, he had the fear of God. He was like, I gotta use this twist. I gotta use this twist. He had that look on his face. You feel it, dang me? I wonder how that would have worked too if she would have put him up. Like, would Tyler just have to say, I'm activating it? Like, would he just have to yell at something? Like, how would that work? Does he have something in his pocket? Does he have a button to press? I don't know how that would work, coach. But that's pretty funny though. Or would it just be like Paul's like secret safety shit? Where like as soon as like Cody put him up, all of a sudden the screen changes and it's like, you know, I don't know. Probably more so like that because Tyler is the Paul of this season. But I digress. But so even Rachel makes fun of her because half the house thought they were Sam's best friend. And they even pointed out Tyler was scared of the backdooring based off Sam's choice of words. So yeah, Sam dropped the ball here 100%. 9:45 p.m. camera 1. JC tries to convince Tyler, Rachel, and Angela that Caitlyn needs to go home and completely crashes and burns. He brought up good points, but pay attention to how Tyler shot all of them down and all of the women followed suit. Now, to be fair, the women have a grudge against Rockstar, while he has all the incentive in the world to keep Caitlyn to go after Faisal and Bailey. But I'm shocked he's working this hard to keep Sam's target when he's supposed to be close to her. If Sam wasn't such a damn recruit, she'd know Tyler isn't shit based off certain questions, but she doesn't know what to ask, let alone care to ask it. But watch the edit make her look like she knows what's going on to a degree. I bet you it happens. Rockstar finally reveals the promise Sam made to her to Faisal in the hammock. When Brett and Winston were on the block, Rockstar thought Brett had the power and said she doesn't have the same options as these younger people do after the game to move to Cali and pursue a modeling career. Sam promised her no matter what, if she leaves the game in Rockstar, Sam is going to help Rockstar find a house outside of the game for her family. That's exactly what she said. So basically, Sam was telling Rockstar she'd split some of her winnings with her if she left the game because of her. Wow. And Rockstar was scared to say it because she thought she'd get in trouble with production. So Sam basically thinks just because they live in close proximity in real life that it's okay to backdoor Rockstar as opposed to someone else. That's basically what that means. And keep in mind, she was going to backdoor JC until he spoke up at the ceremony. So Sam betrayed a friend she'll have the rest of her life for a guy in JC who probably won't give two shits about her after the game. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the biggest example of how production can manipulate a recruit to do something against their character for the sake of TV ratings. They couldn't have JC on the block next to Caitlyn. That's two of the four most visible players to the casual audience. Think about that. That would have been suicide for the narrative that they're trying to write. They want these two people to make jury, okay? They want a crazy ass jury, clearly, and they probably want them to meet Dr. Will. So she never promised to never put her up. But she did imply she'd look out for her like she would her friend Holly from home. If I'm Rockstar, I wouldn't want anything to do with her ass after the game because obviously she treats Holly like shit if she could just throw Rockstar to the wolves like this. 12:23 a.m. camera 1. Haley, Faisal, and Bailey. Faisal is talking to Haley about the game and knows Tyler being cool with everyone will eventually make him into a target. He's worried Haley will be painted as the same kind of threat on the women's side if she keeps being cool with so many people. He wants her to take the same approach she's been taking while she was on the block heading into the future. You know, not overtly flirting with every guy. He wants her to continue that strategy. But let's be real, Faisal has an ulterior motive. He wants her, so he doesn't want her flirting with other guys. Haley tells Faisal that there was a rumor going around that Caitlyn wants to take Faisal out. Faisal already knew about this from JC, so he doesn't really care about it. She also tells him Bailey plans to vote with the house. Here's my problem with this. Why would Bailey tell Haley this information when any superfan could read between the lines and tell by that statement she's at least considering the flip? Why would someone vote with the House on such an important vote that includes a very loyal ally versus an enemy who betrayed and backdoored that person's significant other? This is the one vote nobody has the right to hold against Bailey because it's Caitlyn up there. So it's not lost on me that these jackasses over here at level 6 picked this week to make Bailey do their dirty work to prove herself to them. They are essentially asking Bailey to be their new Caitlyn to save Caitlyn. Think about that. Ooh, damn. If I'm Haley, that's a red flag. If the House is split, why is anyone talking about voting with the majority on a Monday if they haven't already flipped? If Bailey stays true, it's an easy 5-5 vote and Sam sends Caitlyn home. So why talk about the House at all when it's a tie? I don't like it because every time I see Bailey around the Sacred Six, I think she's spying on the other side for the other side now. And just like Rockstar mentions wanting to go home to be with her family too much, Bailey mentions wanting to be on the other side too much. So Bailey has been very vocal about wishing things were different. And in my opinion, she's way too thirsty to be at the cool kids table. I'm getting tired of Bailey and Haley using it against Faisal that he didn't go off on Caitlyn for what she did to Swaggy. It would have been bad for his game to do that the same way Bailey never wanted to go off on her either. Remember, Bailey never really snapped on Caitlyn because she knew how she would be portrayed. You think Faisal, a big, tall man of color who happens to be Muslim, you think he won't be portrayed like shit for going off on this white girl the same way? Come on now. Why did you expect him to blow up? Okay? Come on. I thought that was a little narrow-minded on Bailey's part and a little selfish. If you're not willing to defend your man and go off, why should he? What the hell is going on here? But she tries to flip it like, oh, he's not really loyal to me because he ain't really ride for Swaggy like that. Like, what is, huh? I'm telling y'all, man, this is what's been happening this week. I have no reason to lie to y'all, okay? I am being as fair as possible. Now, it would have been bad for his game to do that the same way it would have been bad for Bailey. But for them to tell him he's 2 weeks too late to be mad at it is revisionist history. Because if it wasn't for Facial's social game with Caitlyn, Caitlyn would have been far more annoying than Bailey and probably would have tried to ruin her game. Facial is being painted in a bad light by these women, especially Haley, who I believe is responsible for Caitlyn running to Tyler in the first place because she was too scared to be in a showmance with Facial to begin with, but was also too possessive to let Caitlyn have him. Don't forget, it's Haley's fault why Swaggy left. So while Bailey wants to shit on Faisal for his reaction after Swaggy leaves, she doesn't hold no grudge with Haley for being in the damn showmance that pushed Caitlyn away. She just blames Caitlyn and she just blames Faisal. Those are the easy ones to blame. Okay. And in the back of Bailey's mind, she knows she needs Haley. So she isn't going to burn that bridge just yet. But I think she's already burned the bridge. And I'll explain why a little bit later. Bailey is telling Rockstar to change her attitude, but she's already flipped. She's talking about we ride for you, ride for us. But Bailey out here ain't riding for nobody right now. Rockstar is the most loyal person on their side by far. If you ask me, they ain't riding for her enough. And I'm happy Ika Wong spoke this to existence on Twitter. Because when I say something, oh man, hold up, Dave, Ika says it, yeah, y'all better shut the fuck up. Let the queen speak. You feel it, dig me? Like real talk. And for Ika to say that, I know she's peeping game because Ika played a game in her first season where she was really loyal to some people. And John and Netta, they threw her to the fucking wolves, let her go. Okay. And she got her revenge on Netta's ass when she played with her again. Okay. So Ika knows all too well how people will abandon you when you're on the block, even though you had their back previously. Okay. So let's be real about that too. If you ask me, they ain't riding for her enough. And if Bailey is voting with the House, why isn't she shoring up the one vote with the other side? She's the one who's cool with them, but she's putting it on Rockstar's plate like Rockstar has any relationship with the other side herself. It's so selfish. And to be honest, Bailey pissed me off all day Monday. She has so much attitude with Rockstar for no reason. Really watch the conversation from 12:45 a.m. to 1 a.m. Bailey is asking her to do the impossible while she sits on a power app and gathers info about the vote to relate back to the CBS cover girl and Beast Mode cowgirl. Like really? Like the level of entitlement. And she's just laying on Haley and Haley is shitting on her. I'm like, damn, Haley, you just got off the block. That's the only reason why you talking shit. Where was this opinion at when you were on the block and Rockstar wasn't? You was quiet as fuck. I want to take a nap. You feel what I'm saying? So all of this is revisionist historian shit. Now, Scotty actually gave Rockstar some sound advice with some substance, while the girls just chastised her for giving up on a vote that could have been predetermined. At least felt that way at the time. Scotty said she needs to play people off of Brett, while Haley and Bailey says to campaign to Angela, who wants Rockstar gone the most. So that goes to show you that Haley and Bailey don't know shit about Angela and her motivations if they're going to tell Rockstar to go and campaign to Angela the most. Angela hates Rockstar mainly because they have the same name. You're naturally going to hate someone like that. Naturally. Okay? That's the same reason why Rob Mariano, that's the same reason why he got rid of Rob Sesternino in Big Brother All-Stars 1. He did it because he was jealous that there was a Rob on that season more popular than him. So he got his ass out. Okay? Like, that's what people do. You have the same name as me? Oh, hell no. In the latest Survivor season that we just got done watching, Ghost Island, there was 2 Stephanies, remember? There was the Stephanie with the leggings on that was like all rainbow colored or something like that. Then there was another Stephanie that was Latina, and the Latina one went home first, okay? Because the other Stephanie didn't want her in the game. Shit like this it happens all the time in reality TV. You got the same name as me, you're the op. I need you gone so I can be the only one with this name. You feel me? But anyway, Haley is only talking like this because she's been taken off the block. But the night before, she didn't want to talk to anyone in fear of her game being compromised and relied on Faisal. Bailey is only talking like this because she's flipping and could care less. I feel bad for Rockstar here. She's playing with a bunch of people who never played the way they are telling her to play when they were on the block. The advice is flawed. 1:36 p.m., camera 1, okay? And at this point, y'all know we're on Tuesday. Okay, I don't think I actually documented that we're on Tuesday, but yes, we're on Tuesday. Oh, no, we're on Tuesday. Yeah, this is 1:36 a.m. I'm sorry. I said p.m. on my notes. But yes, camera 1. Bailey and Haley are banking on Swaggy coming back. This isn't a good sign. They are being misled so hard here by the other women and production. Bailey should know better than to think they would let a black man come back in this game and blow up Tyler's position. Why would they do that, Bailey? You should know better. Okay, a black man, to my knowledge, has never been evicted and brought back in Big Brother US history. Now, quote me on that. I think I'm right, ladies and gentlemen. A black guy has never come back. Okay, Gary from Big Brother Canada 1 is really the only guy I can remember being brought back in a season of Big Brother. Now, I don't really watch Big Brother UK like that, so if there was a black guy that got brought back in that, I'm sorry if I don't know that. But remember, Gary only came back because it was a Canada's vote. Until this day, most people think that vote was rigged against Alec that season. Do your research. A lot of people think that vote was rigged to bring Gary back because Gary was this bigger than life character that no one ever seen before, okay? So a lot of people think that shit was rigged. But see, that's my point. It takes a vote to bring a black person back in Canada, okay? You think a black person comes back with a vote in America? Hell no. You feel me? They wouldn't even get Swaggy a power app. Anyway, so for both of these ladies to be so reliant on the unprecedented is astonishing to me because 40 minutes previously, they were talking like they had all the answers in front of Rockstar, okay? This is important to provide context as to why these people are talking about voting with the House. By Sam revealing what the twist was, it allowed for speculation to hold more weight this week than loyalty. Now let's get to Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, I'm bringing that heat tonight. I hope y'all enjoying yourselves. We're going to keep it moving, ladies and gentlemen. Noon, camera 1, Tuesday's feeds. Rockstar pitches to Angela on why she should stay. And I got to be honest, even though it was a lost cause, she made a lot of good points here. She focused mainly on the idea of all the women working together. Rockstar's ideal scenario would be for all the women to take over the jury for the most part. The jury's just made up of all women. That's her ideal situation. Now, if I'm a woman in this game, I would jump at the bait of that because no one can beat Tyler. And I'd argue if Tyler's gone, no one probably beats Brett in a comp either. So I think they should all work together to get rid of the guys. But the thing that pisses me off is how everyone's like, okay, let's get rid of the guys as long as Faisal goes first. Why don't y'all get rid of Tyler? Y'all have the majority of the numbers. It makes sense for y'all to cut off Tyler first, or at least cut off Brett first. But they're so scared that they could be getting played that they got to make sure that someone else on that side bites the bullet first in case they getting played. You feel me? Which is sound gameplay. I'm not knocking them for being careful, but at the same time, it's very scary when you have the majority numbers anyway. Your clapback would be instant, and you have production's help. It just shows that production's like, no, it can't be Tyler. It got to be Faisal. But anyway, she threw Caitlyn under the bus like a beast for saying she was going to target Sam, and even mentioned how nobody is going to target Tyler if the women don't take control of this game now. I love that from you, Rockstar. Speak some shit into existence that's true. Okay, everybody's so scared to mention Tyler's name. Okay, mention that shit. You even got Tyler bitching and saying we should get rid of Rockstar this week because she's been putting my name in people's mouths. Like, shut your bitch ass up, Tyler. So boo-hoo. It's week 4 and someone mentioned your name while they're on the block. Boo-hoo. You know what I mean? This nigga's a crybaby. But anyway, Rockstar really impressed me with her execution here. I think she would have never let Brett get her I think if she would have never let Brett get her out of her comfort zone, this same Rockstar could have stayed over Caitlyn with ease. But when you take into account Sam completely choking her HOH away on top of Bailey possibly flipping, this was a perfect storm for Rockstar to go. But right now, as of today, ladies and gentlemen, it feels like Rockstar is going to stay. So obviously, whatever she said to Angela, whatever she's saying to all of these women is starting to resonate with them. But it seems like Rachel is now the main one with Tyler that is so anti her. They're so anti Rockstar staying. Both of them are like, we can use Caitlyn. But notice how the two people that are so against getting rid of Caitlyn are the two production's pets. See that? That's production convincing them to convince the sheep of why they should keep Caitlyn, because Caitlyn is someone they're invested in. She's part of their narrative. Caitlyn has been a central character of this show since week 2. They don't want her to go. They don't want her to be someone we won't see again until finale night. Come on, it all adds up. It all checks out. All right. So this is some real tea I'm dropping. 12:11 p.m. Okay. Peep game at Rachel claiming to go to an open call audition. That's a straight up lie because she was on a damn CBS magazine during BB20. She ain't go to no damn open call, okay? But peep game how she said that. She had to say it. That way she didn't seem like a fucking ringer with special treatment. I just thought it was something interesting to note. Okay, they were all outside and stuff, and everyone was talking about how they got on the show and stuff. Tyler was a little mum's the word, but you feel me? Rachel, she went ahead and told me, I went to an open call in LA. Stop lying to the people. Anyway, 1:05 p.m., camera 1. Tyler tells Casey he is tired of Caitlyn and wouldn't mind seeing her go, but this is all bullshit for TV in my eyes to build doubt on Thursday. He's more worried about her coming back and blowing up his game, but Casey actually sees the value in Rockstar staying because Caitlyn is way too erratic. Problem is, production wants Caitlyn in that jury house the same way they wanted Raven from last season in that jury house. So they gotta get her out during a double eviction or else she'll be dragged to the end, ladies and gentlemen. Then Tyler tells Casey when she watches the show, she'll be shocked by how much of a savage he is towards Caitlyn. Did y'all catch this shit? The edit ain't making you look like a savage, Tyler. They got you looking like lifeguard Jesus. You can do no wrong. You turn ocean water into fucking E&J, okay? You can do no wrong in this game, coach. But he, I guess, is convinced by production that they're showing the true him when they're not. And I don't even know why he would want them to show the true him, because if they start to show you the true you, your ass ain't getting nowhere after this show. But that's neither here nor there. But he isn't a savage towards her anyone in the edit. He's lifeguard Jesus in the edit because production is protecting him. But it's interesting that he thinks using an insecure woman and manipulating her fragile emotional state makes him a savage. That shows you who the real Tyler is, ladies. So if you have some type of a dream or fantasy of being with this dude, no, he thinks he's actually cool, a savage for manipulating a weak-minded woman. He thinks that makes him cool. Maybe he's not your type, ladies. Anyway, a savage would have been honest about why he didn't really like Swaggy instead of hiding behind backhanded compliments and lying on your dad's grave to avoid confrontation. That's what a savage would do. Okay, he didn't want no smoke from a real savage, so now he's culturally appropriating one himself. Tyler, you ain't shit. You ain't shit. 1:44 p.m., camera 3. Bailey admits it's a 5-5 vote, but then tells Faisal they need to go with the house because Caitlyn will target him. Faisal says to let him worry about Caitlyn, so clearly he's ready for war. But I want it to be known that this is the conversation in the bathroom that Faisal allegedly threatened Bailey. Go back. 1:44 p.m., camera 3. This is the only conversation he has with her all day by themselves until the moment where she told Haley about what Faisal allegedly did. He never once threatened her. Watch this conversation because it provides context as to why Bailey is willing to do whatever it takes to flip and to justify her flip by saying Faisal treated her like shit. Okay, so this is an important conversation, ladies and gentlemen. So let me reiterate one more time what they were talking about. It had nothing to do with him saying, oh, I heard you've been talking to people on the other side. Oh, you're going to listen to me. Oh, don't do that shit. He ain't say none of that. He ain't have none of that energy. He was calm. In fact, he was asking her, what else do I have to shave? Do I got my beard straight? And she was like, a little bit more on your right side. You feel me? It was not one of those conversations, bruh. It wasn't. So let me re-say this one more time. Bailey admits it's a 5-5 vote, but then tells Faisal they need to go with the House because Caitlyn will target him. Faisal says to let him worry about Caitlyn, so clearly he's ready for war, okay? But I want it to be known that Faisal did not disrespect Bailey at all in the bathroom in this moment because later in the day, she is going to tell Haley a lie that Faisal did something. And see, this is a lot like what Caitlyn did to Swaggy's reputation. She made up a lie based off hearsay, you know, the I'm white and I say so shit. And who are you to say she's wrong? And they didn't have no flashback to back it up. And I guarantee you, if they show Bailey with this lie, they will have no flashback to back this shit up either, ladies and gentlemen. And this is why I'm so mad about this. Because someone in Bailey's position, a black person on this game, should know why it's so dangerous to make up a lie about someone being threatened to you. To being threatening to you. You should know better than to play this way. I don't care how desperate you are to stay in the game. To do this to a Muslim brother, when you know what they stand for, this could have ramifications for this brother outside the house if you ain't careful. You feel me? Like it's just so irresponsible. It's so irresponsible, okay? And I'm peeping game. All of these people defending her, they don't even talk to me about the conversation she's mentioned about Faisal because they don't watch the feeds. They didn't see the conversation. So they're just defending the person they think she still is without knowing who she is right now in the present. So you're defending what you think is going on. But until you see it for yourself, how can you debate anything? And that's the thing. I don't want us to be blindly following anyone just because they're black. I want us to follow them because they deserve us. Okay. And I'm not saying Bailey doesn't deserve us to support her, but this was some sucker shit. This was some sucker shit. If somebody else, put it this way, if somebody did that to Bailey, she'd be crying. She'd be crying. Actually, Caitlyn tried to do that to Bailey. She said, oh, she makes me so uncomfortable and all that shit. And remember how I said in the last rant, Bailey was using Caitlyn's game against her? I gave her kudos for that part because she didn't take it to an extreme yet. But now she's taking Caitlyn's game to all the way Caitlyn, okay? I'm talking Full Metal Alchemist Caitlyn in this motherfucker, okay? Cyborg Caitlyn, where she's actually trying to frame people for stuff they didn't even do, okay? Now, Rachel, hold on. Okay, yeah, this is still 1:40 p.m., 1:44 p.m. But see, the thing with Bailey and Faisal happened on camera 3. This is happening at the same exact time on camera 1 at 1:44 p.m., okay? Rachel, Angela, and Casey. Angela, for whatever reason, thinks Scotty is dumb enough to target Caitlyn if he wins the next HOH. And that's why they want to keep her. Angela, are you a fucking idiot? Scotty just got done targeting the bros. You think he gonna go after Caitlyn next? No, he going after Tyler. He going after Brett again, okay? He going after somebody that's gonna have y'all running, okay? He ain't finna go after Caitlyn. Y'all think Scotty gonna all of a sudden turn bitch made? No. Scotty ready, okay? But I just thought it was interesting that Angela's this dumb. I was shocked that a lady could be this bad of a player in such a good position. But to be fair to her, earlier today, she showed that she had some game chops. So she has some room for improvement there. Now, Rachel thinks if they all gang up on JC, he'll flip his vote too. But JC ain't going, coach. If there's one thing I respect about JC, it's how badly he wants Caitlyn to go. He ain't being swindled. He ain't being convinced of anything otherwise. He is dug in. And see, I respect people who are dug in because I came up watching the game where there were two sides. People refused to flip and said, let's go. Okay, that's what made Big Brother into a household name. That's what made it into a great fucking show when people weren't scared to go at each other. Now we got a whole bunch of beta males and a whole bunch of scary people. Let me flip to the side who was racist. What is going on? What is going on? Like, come on, coach. Like, no matter how you flip it, that's weak. But anyway. So yeah, so if there's one thing I respect about JC is how badly he wants Caitlyn to go. If only Bailey knew the truth about Swaggy never coming back, she'd be just as dead set on the same outcome. But now that I've already told you all that, as of tonight, as of right now, it seems like Caitlyn is going home. Then Bailey, it explains why Bailey apologized with Faisal. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna get into that. But just know she would have never apologized to this brother if it wasn't confirmed that Caitlyn could be going home. She would have still kept on ignoring the brother and acting like he did that to threaten her life. Let's keep it all the way a buck. But since now Caitlyn is leaving, now Bailey's got to play nice and act like she never considered the flip because she doesn't know who will win the next HOH. You see that? Okay. Now, Angela and KC both want Faisal going next, but Rachel wants Scotty going first. If Bailey flipping leads to Scotty or Faisal going home after Rockstar, that'll be a net negative of 2 votes Bailey loses in 7 days. Think about that math. Think about that. And we already know Caitlyn will never vote for Bailey if she's a juror. So really, it's a net negative of 3 if Caitlyn stays. Come on, man. 1:58 p.m., camera 1. Rachel and Bailey. And by the way, don't rule out Caitlyn still staying, ladies and gentlemen. Don't rule this shit out, because a lot of people have conspiracy theories that everything that happened today could have been done just for Thursday night's episode to have doubt in the air, but they will still go and save Caitlyn. So we have to watch feeds tonight, and we have to watch feeds tomorrow afternoon to be for sure. But I just want to drive that point home. Now, 1:58 p.m., camera 1, Rachel and Bailey. Rachel, this is a very important conversation. Let me just introduce this by saying this. Bailey had an opportunity when she was talking to Rachel alone. She had an opportunity to truly prove to Rachel that she's all in with this idea of her joining their group. But Bailey dropped the ball here and choked a lot of these questions away. And I'm going to break it down here. And see, this is why they don't want someone like me on Big Brother, because I can peak game on bullshit quick. And Rachel peak game on this shit. Now listen to this. Rachel asks Bailey about how she wants to vote, and Bailey says she doesn't care. Even if she's playing the game, that answer isn't perceived as truthful to a superfan like Rachel. That's why Bailey's efforts to consistently say she doesn't care, everyone can tell she does because she thinks Swaggy is coming back. As long as she cares about Swaggy, she clearly cares about this vote because it involves Caitlyn. So her placating to what she thinks Rachel wants to hear doesn't give Rachel what she wants, which leads to Rachel questioning her multiple times about the same shit. Okay? Now, pay attention, though, to what Bailey said after saying she didn't care. This is where Bailey put her foot in her mouth and contradicted herself. Any person who has dreams and aspirations of playing Big Brother, I want you to learn a lesson from this, okay? When you tell somebody something, you have to keep going with the energy and flow of your first answer, or else you will talk in circles and expose yourself. So listen to this. She said she doesn't care, but then she says she's waiting for others to make a decision. But who could she possibly be waiting on when she knows the vote is a 5-5 split? See that? Hold on. Rachel's peeping this as I'm peeping this live, okay? Why is she contradicting what she just said about not caring by mentioning this? Obviously, you do care if you want to be on the right side of the votes. So why would you say you don't care, then say you're waiting for people to tell you where they're voting, when you already know where everyone is voting because they're trying to pull you over to be the swing vote? So it doesn't make sense, y'all. What she's saying to her doesn't make sense. Where is the Bailey that was playing it so good over this weekend, y'all? That's my question. She seems to have disappeared on me, and I got to be constructive with my criticism. Dumb excuses like this might work on a 21-year-old college student like Haley that doesn't really know the game, but it will never work on CBS cover girl Rachel, one half of the Vixen Alliance, 1/5 of the Level 6. I expected Bailey to know Rachel is capable of seeing through this bullshit. I was shaking my head watching this. Rockstar did a better job fighting a losing battle in her campaigning to Angela than Bailey is doing with Rachel right now, and Rachel is the one who wants her on their side. I'm telling y'all nothing but facts right now. But the night before, she was talking down to Rockstar like Rockstar didn't understand the game. It's astounding at this role reversal, ladies and gentlemen. It's astounding, okay? If Bailey isn't flipping, why did she tell Rachel that Faisal isn't voting to keep Caitlyn? She gave Rachel all the ammo she needs to blow up Faisal's game, who knows about Bailey's app. This is another choked play here. What does Bailey gain by telling Rachel that if she isn't flipping? Absolutely nothing. In fact, she ruined some of her own leverage with the other side on making a real deal for this vote, because now that side knows for sure where Faisal and Haley's votes are because they're a package deal. Y'all following me here? Bailey choked in this conversation with Rachel. Tuesday was really Bailey's worst day in Big Brother history. Like, of her whole game so far, Tuesday was terrible for her. Terrible. Okay. So she sold her girl Haley out too for no reason, by proxy. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, Dave, maybe she's trying to increase her leverage by making all the votes seem locked in on her side. But she just got done saying she's waiting for folks to make their minds up on where they're voting. So she once again contradicted herself in the conversation, because to know where Faisal is voting knows where Haley is. Scotty is voting with them, and JC is the most anti-Caitlyn out of them all. So what vote is up in the air at all? Y'all see this? Y'all see this? This is why they don't want me playing Big Brother, y'all. I think too fast. I think too fast. That did not add up at all. All of this shit she just said, it felt like she was scared. It felt like she was pressured. It felt like she was rattled. So she just started explaining, rambling, okay? That's really real. They would have approached her more than just Bailey if there was any. They would have approached more people than just Bailey if there was any votes in the air on the level 6 side. So do y'all understand me when I say I was right about Rachel being the arbiter of doom for Bailey's game? She's got Bailey talking in circles in ways that are unlike Bailey. Bailey is like the cool, calm, collected, funny, charismatic. Everyone wants to be around Bailey. But in this conversation, it felt like Bailey truly did not know how to play on Rachel's level. That's the saddest part about this. This conversation, it showed the class difference in terms of just gameplay between Rachel and Bailey at this point. And I think a lot of it is because of information that Bailey doesn't have that Rachel does. But nevertheless, though, poor plays all across the board here. Okay, it's very bizarre, which is why I'm telling y'all, she's going to flip sooner or later. Okay, rewatch this conversation for yourself if you don't believe me when I say Bailey isn't the same player anymore. She isn't, y'all. She isn't. She really isn't. It's the saddest thing for me to admit as someone who covers this game, but it's the truth. I have no reason to lie. Okay, and y'all know I am someone who's all about keeping it a buck, and I'm keeping it a buck. Other channels, they're gonna be scared to keep it a buck because they're gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna lose the black people who love my channel. No. If they really fuck with you, they gonna fuck with the truth because they gonna see it on TV anyway. So don't be scared. Call a buck, and that's why I came out tonight with this rant, because I ain't want no one to jump first. I want to be the first to jump. That way y'all can see, oh, these niggas copying my takes. Anyway, Rachel tries to reassure Bailey that if Caitlyn, that Caitlyn won't go after her if she stays. But Rachel doesn't control Caitlyn. Tyler does. And if Tyler sees the women getting too close, he's not going to want Faisal out before Bailey. Okay? Because Tyler knows Faisal goes, then that's one less guy in the game. And before you know it, it's just Scotty, JC, Tyler, and Brett left. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's not what he wants, because now Tyler really looks like a huge threat because there's no Faisal to shield him. That's what I've been trying to tell people. You know, Tyler knows he can't target Faisal just yet because Faisal is his shield, at least until jury starts. You know what I'm saying? He has to at least guarantee that much. Now, like I said, Faisal is the only shield Tyler has left in the game. Brett hasn't won anything, so he isn't perceived as anything but a social threat. But Tyler is seen as the apex social threat on top of being up there with Faisal in comp wins. Tyler needs Brett and Faisal there to keep him off the block, and I'm sure if the women suspect Bailey has the app, Tyler had to have had it before they did. He had to have known about it before they did, I mean. If Bailey decides to save Caitlyn with some pipe dream of being safe for 2 weeks, it's her own fault if she doesn't make jury, let alone have the votes to win at the end. She is the one who is digging her own grave by allowing these people to put her in this coercing position. She controls her own future with this app. She don't have to listen to these people. And I know where people, no, I mean, but she really likes being around these people. But if these people truly really liked her, they would have brought her in before Winston left. Soon as Swaggy left, it was said, Swaggy was the deal breaker, girl. We want you here. Join us, please. That's what they would have done. But see, Scotty wins HOH. And see, here's my thing, Bailey. You're going to flip on these people, but you were so go team when Scotty won HOH. So all these people saying she was never really in the alliance can shut the fuck up, because when Scotty won HOH, oh, she was all with Team Faute then. So, what's understand don't need to be spoken. She was part of their alliance. By association, she was part of their alliance, all right? So stop defending her at every turn and just listen to logic and listen to sound strategy. Bailey even said that they should not tell people they're voting to keep Caitlyn. That way, Faisal will be left in the dark and be the target. Peep this. Bailey told Rachel that they should tell everyone to flip to go ahead and get out Rockstar, except Faisal. That way he's looked at, he's the sitting duck out there and is the next target. This don't sound like someone that isn't flipping, y'all. This don't sound like someone that isn't flipping. Now, let's say she's playing Rachel here, okay? The best case scenario is she stays loyal and they force the split, sending Caitlyn home. But what about after that? Now Rachel, who's grown closer and closer to Faisal lately, can approach him and reveal all the stuff Bailey told her about his game that only she would know. That could bait him in a defensive response to tell her about Bailey's power. So there is no going back after saying this to Rachel. There is no going back. Bailey has to flip or else she doesn't even have the votes to win because of this conversation. But if she doesn't flip after saying it, she could be booted right before jury starts and never uses her app. So I'm lost for words here. She put herself in a position where she's damned if she does, damned if she don't, because she couldn't keep her mouth shut. And because she's a have-not right now, she's almost forced to be in the same room and discuss strategy with these women. So she's almost like, she's trapped in a way. You feel me? And I've already mentioned she's cramping here and there. She's on slop, okay? So I understand that. But that is no excuse to throw Faisal under the bus, who has done nothing to ruin your game directly. Nothing. Okay. But yeah, so, oh man. Okay. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. But yeah, so there is no going back after saying this to Rachel. Bailey has to flip or else she doesn't have the votes to win because of this conversation. But if she doesn't flip after saying that, she could be booted right after jury starts and never uses her app. Rachel thinks for sure Sam, JC, Faisal, and Scotty will be higher up on the target list than Bailey if she flips. I don't know why any of these people will put any clout on what Caitlyn says while on the block. Caitlyn is a notorious liar and emotional player. She has been painting a target on Bailey and asking Tyler for permission to pull the trigger if she stays for multiple days now. I don't think she will forget about Bailey as long as she remembers Tyler saying he loves her and it sucks. Remember that. Also, don't rule out Rachel knowing for a fact what Bailey's twist is, but isn't showing her cards yet, because it would work perfectly for her game to have Caitlyn win the next HOH, throw up Sam next to JC, and then backdoor Bailey so she never can use the app. This is 100% possible. And with Rachel trying so hard to convince her Caitlyn will forgive and forget, it feels like they're setting this sister up, and I'm scared that I might be so on point with this prediction that it comes true. 4:40 p.m. Camera 3. Bailey approaches Haley in the bedroom about Faisal saying he's rude and disrespectful. This is when she began spreading this information to Haley, trying to ruin Haley and Faisal's relationship in the process. She has no reason to say this to Haley unless she wants Haley to look at Faisal differently. Pay attention. Okay? She says he told her to keep her mouth shut about discussing him or what he's doing to other people. And this is ironic because Bailey just got done throwing Faisal under the bus to Rachel. I think Bailey is trying to go out of her way to paint a target on him because he knows her secret. She wants an excuse to flip. And remember, Rachel told her Faisal is the next target of Caitlyn's. So she's working on Haley to make her turn on Faisal too. These are dirty tactics, ladies and gentlemen. Very dirty. If only Haley knew, she threw her under the bus too to Rachel. I wonder what Haley's reaction would be. From 1:40 p.m. when Faisal spoke to Bailey in the bathroom to 4:44 p.m. when Bailey finally spoke to Haley regarding Faisal comment. Faisal did not speak to her except once in that 3-hour span. So all I can go off of is the conversation that happened with them in the bathroom when he was lining up his beard. He was not disrespectful. In that 3-hour window, Faisal did nothing to disrespect her. In fact, he was outside during that entire 3-hour period while Bailey was inside in a have-not room discussing game with multiple people, okay? I don't get why she's framing him for something like this at all, unless she is trying to cause cracks in her former group on purpose to force a unanimous vote. But how does that help her game either, y'all? How? These people are eventually going to come together and realize you did what you did. How does that help her game? I don't know. 8:36 p.m. Camera 3. Somehow Casey just happened to know out of the blue that Bailey had a twist out of nowhere. Production. Remember I told you about her and Rachel discussing it on Monday, about somehow having a feeling that Bailey had this app twist, okay? Well, she actually was cocky enough to tell her she knows she has it. Bailey just asked her why, and she said because she can read minds. Oh, bitch, you Professor Xavier now too, Beast Mode Cowgirl? Get the fuck out of here. But anyway, this is more bullshit from production because Casey didn't start having the idea of Bailey having the ab twist until after Rachel mentioned it first to her. This fits in with not only Rachel having production's ear, but also remember, this all happened after Bailey told Scotty her plans to nominate Tyler if she won HOH. So I think production was trying to scare Bailey into staying the course and flipping on her people. The timing of it was a little too convenient, ladies and gentlemen. Bailey tells Casey that Faisal threatened her. More lies to bring the guy down for no reason. She then tells her Swaggy told her that Faisal told him not to trust her. The irony of this is Casey hated Swaggy for being with her, but her first reaction to that story was, Faisal must be jealous of your relationship. Takes one to know one, huh, Beast Mode Cowgirl? You've been jealous of Swaggy this whole fucking time. Not so Swaggy thing. Say it to his fucking face on finale night. I would love for you to do it. I would love for you to do it. Now, I don't want this brother to catch a charge or nothing, but I would love for you to do it. Because I guarantee you Bailey defends her man in front of you. You say that shit. I guarantee you. And then you burn a bridge with her. And that's all you really want, is to keep your bridge going with her. So go ahead and burn your bridge with her. I would love to see it. But anyway, more lies to bring down this brother for no reason. Okay. Oh, shit. Hold on. Okay, yeah. I lost myself for a second. Bailey has 100% flip now in my eyes. She's proving herself by shitting on another person of color and actually thinks Swaggy is going to come back. She's losing it on this slop. Also, pay attention to how Bailey said it sucks that Sam wants to get out Caitlyn with the tiebreaker. What happened to the Bailey we all knew and loved, y'all? And did you notice how the feeds cut off to a break as soon as she said it? Production made her into a turncoat. Prepare for this season to get even worse. No matter how you look at it, lying on Faisal and saying he threatened her is no different from Caitlyn lying on Swaggy's name and making him look like a bully. It's the same exact move. So what I really want is to be real and I want y'all to be real and stop defending this bullshit because of what race she is. This tactic is Bush League no matter who pulls it off. Now let's get to Wednesday's feeds, ladies and gentlemen. 11:28 p.m. Camera 2. Rockstar asked the $500,000 question to Bailey, and I was happy she asked her this. Who is the house that she's voting with? Because even Rockstar can do the math. What house are you talking about? It's 5-5. Like, the house is split down the middle, okay? Bailey says she doesn't know what the house is. More covering up by Bailey to not out the alliance she wants to flip to. This is more proof she's flipped, okay? But y'all keep telling me she isn't flipping, Dave. Okay? If she truly didn't know, why would she qualify her vote behind a mysterious entity? See, this doesn't make sense. See, this is why I need to play this game, man. This bullshit would not fly with me, man. It would not fly. I would ask the right questions. Now, see, this is more interference being ran on purpose by Bailey to leave her alliance member in the dark. Rockstar was the most loyal to Swaggy after Faisal because she understood him. For Bailey to throw this woman with a family to the wolves, thinking Swaggy will replace her, is idiotic, especially if she's banking on tarnishing Faisal's name to make it easier for Swaggy to flip over to Tyler's side. She won't even admit she lied on Faisal. She won't even admit it. She made this dude try to apologize to her tonight instead of just admitting she made up some bullshit. And she did that on purpose because she knew, oh, if Haley tells him what I said and frames it a certain way, I'm fucked. So let me go apologize because I know Caitlyn's leaving anyway. That was just to cover her ass, okay? But anyway, she won't even admit she lied on Faisal, and Faisal has done nothing to deserve this. Rockstar even overheard Rachel saying Caitlyn will be a have-not next week. So this is what put Rockstar on the trajectory earlier today, all day today on Wednesday. This is what made her play a lot harder today with her campaigning because she started to realize like, whoa, Rachel already talking like Caitlyn gonna be here next week. I need to go ahead and spread that news because they think shit is sweet. And I'm glad she did that because Rockstar may have saved her game by mentioning that, okay? But of course, Bailey downplays that too to protect her new alliance, okay? She protects that shit too, even though Bailey wasn't there to hear Rachel say it. So how can you say something never happened when you weren't there to hear it? You know, that's the same thing I say. If I experience racism and I'm letting you know that I experienced it, who are you to tell me the place you weren't at that the thing that I tell you that happened isn't true? You feel me? It's just entitled, man. Just listen. Okay. And that's the problem. Bailey isn't trying to listen to these people. She's impatient with these people because she's tired of playing with these people. And it's coming off in her words and her delivery when she speaks to people. Faisal could have used the first veto and it would have gotten her backdoored by Tyler. Okay. But he didn't. And Bailey knows this. And that's why she made up this lie about him mentioning it to keep her loyal to him. He never said that in a bathroom with her. She's projecting to prove to the other side she don't give a fuck about him. Okay? And honestly, if she thinks Swaggy is coming back, by shitting on Faisal, who is Swaggy's best friend, she's almost trying to coon it out a little bit for some butter biscuits to prove to them that Swaggy will shit on him too. He'll listen to me, girls. You feel me? That's really the motivation for shitting on Faisal. Because if Swaggy comes back, they're gonna be boys, and she don't want that. Okay? So yes, she's projecting to prove to the other side she don't give a fuck about Faisal. She even told Rockstar Sam nominated her because Rockstar lied to her week 1, which is a lie as well because Rockstar was trying to put JC up until he spoke up. So the fact that Rockstar bought that was bullshit too, okay? All right, Faisal walked in the room with Rockstar and Bailey didn't even address his existence, y'all. He was sitting there for a nice long time. Eventually, he just left out because she wouldn't talk to him, okay? Very, very disrespectful. And this is why I'm telling y'all, she didn't apologize to him out of the kindness of her heart. She apologized to him because she had to cover her own ass in case Faisal wins the HOH, okay? That's what that's about. If we're incapable of holding black players accountable when they make mistakes, we don't have the right down the road to complain when white people defend white players at every turn, no matter what comes out of the white player's mouth. We got to practice what we preach here. Bailey is voluntarily running to the women that look at her skin tone as ghetto. She is flirting with a lesbian who hates her boyfriend. She tells Faisal to stop being nice to Caitlyn, but Bailey is nice to the people who got Caitlyn to flip on her man. So shouldn't she practice what she preaches to Faisal? My slogan is no one is safe from criticism for a reason. If I see you off your square, I'm going to speak on it. If we don't hold Bailey accountable now, we're no different from the fans that we can't stand. Okay? And that is the central reason for why I call this change of heart. Because this is a change of heart in a lot of ways. Okay? Also, peep game, how after Bailey flipped, all of a sudden, Sam's need for Caitlyn to go home evaporated as well. All of a sudden now, if it's a 5-5 split, she's going to choose from a cup. I mentioned that shit, but that's production. Okay? 12:43 p.m. Tyler tells Brett he knows his name is in Haley, Rockstar, and Faisal's mouth. Now, how would he know that without Bailey snitching? He could know about Rockstar because she's campaigning to the women to have a girls' alliance, but Haley hasn't spoken on Tyler's game to many people at all. So this once again shows she's been thrown under the bus too. I don't want to blame Bailey 100% for Tyler knowing this though, because production could be feeding him information. 1:25 p.m. Camera 2. Caitlyn is pissing off people like Rachel and Angela by asking too many questions. If Caitlyn was smart, she'd get production to throw her a sedative or two and chill the fuck out. Okay, go and snort some shit and shut the hell up. Sit in the damn corner, okay? Go fold some towels, okay? Rachel's problem with her is centered around Caitlyn's incompetence, okay? Rachel wants Caitlyn to kiss her ass, basically, and be like, hey, I'm responsible for you staying this week. You better show me some damn respect. Whereas Caitlyn is almost asking her questions like, if I was still sitting up next to Haley, would you vote to keep me? You know, she's asking her what if questions that are irrelevant at this point, when she doesn't even know that that's a secure vote for her. So why are you even still speaking to her? It doesn't make sense. Now, Rachel and Angela are worried Caitlyn is already close to Faisal again because they were so sure she would target him if she stayed. This is making them hesitant about keeping her, which also contributes to how Rockstar somehow made up all of this ground today, okay? Rachel and Angela both are growing skeptical of Bailey too because she isn't being decisive with her vote and keeps saying she's voting with the house. This is why I told y'all Bailey made several misplays in front of Rachel yesterday. And clearly Rachel confirms it in the geometry room here because she thinks they don't have Bailey yet. See that? Casey knows Rockstar is all in with the all-girl alliance and may be the better choice to keep because Caitlyn is a comp threat and may protect Faisal with her HOH. But notice how Caitlyn magically interrupts them as soon as they're discussing her. She is creepy. Caitlyn comes in just so Angela can show her some yoga moves. Like, what if y'all can't do this somewhere else? Okay. Now, maybe it was a lockdown. Maybe that's what happened, but I thought it was dumb, which had to be the worst excuse to interrupt a conversation I've ever heard. Caitlyn makes Rachel aware of Rockstar overhearing her saying Caitlyn will be a have-not. So Rachel says all she can say in defense. She said she prefaced the comments by saying if Caitlyn stays, she will be a have-not. but she didn't say it that way, okay? Rockstar would have mentioned that, okay? No, that's some bullshit, but she didn't say that. This visibly pisses off Rachel because she doesn't really speak much afterwards except to chalk stuff off as people babbling, mainly Rockstar babbling. Rockstar doesn't babble, though, and I think Caitlyn only brought this up because she overheard Rachel saying Caitlyn has been pissing her off with all her questions. This was a sound play on Caitlyn's part to break the ice because they were only discussing yoga poses until she brought that shit up. So she was able to get Rachel out of her little cocoon as soon as she said, hey, you know, Rockstar said some shit about you. Then all of a sudden, Rachel is so forthcoming, like, you know what, I'm gonna start spilling the tea then. Now, 1:48 p.m. camera 3. Bailey and Casey begin talking, and Casey is getting the gut feeling of keeping Rockstar as the best move. This is key, but Casey says she has to tell Rachel. Bailey wants to know why Rachel wants Caitlyn to stay so bad, but we all know Angela is the one pushing for Rockstar to go the most out of hate, and because they don't want her in the jury. Now, I've had to amend this theory because actually Angela's okay with keeping her because she wants all the girls to stick together now, okay? So, but yeah, Bailey claims to want everyone on the same page, and pushing this is all. And she's pushing this all-girls alliance too, which has synergy with her throwing Faisal under the bus. But my problem is, why couldn't she make up a lie on Tyler, calling him threatening, okay? Or even Brett? Did it have to be Faisal? Faisal isn't even in a good position. Faisal is such a nice guy. He lets Caitlyn walk all over him. He isn't a bad person at all. And he'd never nominate Bailey. So why isn't she saying these things about the white men? Why isn't she making up these fake-ass allegations about the white men, but can destroy the character of a Muslim man and not think twice about it, let alone have any remorse for it? Okay? That is the million-dollar question. Why him and not them? He ain't the one who got out swaggy, they was. It's because she's so thirsty to join the cool kids table, and she knows it's a deal breaker if she shits on any of those white guys on that side. That's what it's about. And honestly, she's not dumb enough to shit on Scotty that way, because it doesn't even sound like Scotty to be disrespectful. So who's left? Oh, the biggest guy in the house. Let's make him seem like a big animal. I don't like it, man. Because see, that's what white supremacists would do. I don't like these tactics at all from Bailey, okay? But yeah, she isn't throwing Scotty under the bus either. So clearly she is making it an effort to only shit on Faisal, who happens to have dirt on her. That's not a coincidence. It's by design, okay? I truly believe she's holding a grudge with him because he forgave Caitlyn. But if she always knew Faisal didn't want Swaggy to trust her, why was she entitled enough to expect Faisal to ruin his game by blowing up on Caitlyn in the first place? Another direct contradiction. Another direct contradiction. Say that I'm wrong. That's a contradiction, ladies and gentlemen. Does she not know Faisal will be treated just as bad for picking on a woman, if not worse than Bailey would have looked going at another woman toe-to-toe? A woman versus a woman fight is fair, but Faisal versus a woman clearly isn't. So why is she really mad at Faisal? Because this excuse doesn't make sense either. So let's truly break this down, y'all. Let's truly Bro, I'm the rant god, man. For real. And there's people on social media trying to give her a pass by saying, she was never in the Falte, Dave, so it isn't really a flip. But that means you're saying she's a floater then. Why would a floater... Y'all ain't making sense, man. I'm finna break this down to a point where y'all gonna get ethered, bruh. Why would a floater need to destroy Faisal's game to build enough social currency to be at the cool kids table if the cool kids don't perceive it as a flip? Can y'all answer that question? Y'all experts on Bailey's game, but y'all ain't got no receipts like I got. Can y'all answer that question? If she's really a floater, and this really isn't a flip, why does she have to work so hard to throw Faisal under the bus? Because she has to prove it is a flip. So shut your dumb ass up and listen to reason, damn it. All right. It doesn't matter how we view whether she was in or not in the Secret Six. That's irrelevant. It matters to the level 6. And what they view her as. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to see. Okay. And that's why I brought up certain conversations with Bailey and the other side to show her choking on demand. Okay. Now, if they think this is a flip, it is the flip in the eyes of the jury because they make up the majority of the jury, period, which will be the thing that most likely doesn't win her the game. So prepare for this. Now, then you got people saying, well, Rockstar and Haley knew Swaggy would be backdoored and didn't say nothing, Dave. What does that have to do with her flipping on the side that has been, what does that have to do with her flipping to the side that has been proven to be racist? What does that have to do with anything? And why is it okay for her to turn on these people for withholding information from her when she's going to the side that withheld the most information from her and orchestrated her man going home? Y'all can't answer this question either, can y'all? I'm preaching to the choir tonight. I'm preaching to the choir tonight. I will find every excuse and throw that shit out the window because it's all bullshit. Okay? It's all bullshit. You feel me? Now, man, Scotty could have pulled a beta male move and flipped, but he dug in during his HOH because he knew he had to stand for something. Bailey is betraying him too with this move, and even though y'all claim she was never in on their alliance, she sure as hell loved it when Scotty won HOH and gave her a free week. She sure loved that shit. You feel me? But she was never in on their team, Dave. So this whole she was never on their team shit is revisionist history. If she was never on the team, she had no right to be mad at Caitlyn for flipping then. See the bullshit here. See the bullshit here. See? Y'all can't say this and then say this. You can't, okay? Is she a floater or is she not? So you root for floaters now? Okay, just admit you root for floaters now. Because to my knowledge, we never root for floaters over here. The super fans, we hate floaters, right? Right? All of a sudden we love them because Paris won BB Can 6. Like, come on, y'all. Like, let's stop being fake now. Let's stop being fake. Like, there's a lot of fake shit going on here, okay? Now, but yeah, so if she was never on the team, she had no right to be mad at Caitlyn for flipping then. See the Pandora's box y'all open up trying to defend her bad gameplay at any cost? It makes us all look bad. It makes us all look bad. You look like someone that don't understand the game when you just defend something for no reason. You gotta have receipts. You gotta have facts to back it up. You gotta have more than just, well, they didn't tell her that Swaggy was getting backdoored. What the fuck does that matter? Why does that matter? Scotty won the HOH right after that and protected her. He earned his currency back and he flipped on the vote to get out Swaggy. Okay? So that means she should flip on him then? She owes him something, but y'all talking like she don't owe him shit. And I really want to drive this point home. It's hard enough for black people to win this game, let alone a black flipper. Come on, man. Like, this is like playing the game on expert mode once you flip. It's like you want the game to be harder for yourself. Shit, the best thing she had going for her would have been to stay loyal to people and be the last one left out of all of them and hope everyone else eats each other alive and she just keeps drifting off to the end. That's how a lot of players end up winning the game because it's like, damn, we kept this person around. She deserves to win. That's arguably how Paris won the game. Paris didn't win the game because in week 4, she said, I'm going to flip on Maddie. I'm going to flip on Maddie. No, that's not how she was loyal to her people until a certain moment in the jury phase. She didn't say, oh, right before jury, let me just throw everything away. See, y'all are trying to chalk Bailey off as the next Paris just to justify her flipping. But if Paris would have never won the game, y'all would be on my side here. So that's why I'm saying stop using history to back up your argument if it's not pertaining to this season. This season is its own bubble. If it don't pertain to what's happening within this bubble, it's irrelevant to her game. That's what's really real, period. Lastly, do y'all really think production will make Bailey's edit look good after this? They already have a problem with this JC versus Tyler thing that is brewing. Do y'all actually believe they will give her any flashbacks to make sense out of this move? Do y'all not see how bad the optics of this will look on national TV to see a black woman paint a Muslim man in a bullying light when he never bullied her? I'm trying to at least put some of the blame on production for not denying or confirming Swaggy returning. Hell, I've even blamed some of it on Slop, and I know she's cramping. But lying on another person of color to be accepted by white folks will always be cooning in my book. Always, coach. Always. And I'm not going to give Bailey a pass for this. If y'all thought I would put some positive spin on this just because I'm a person of color, you don't get what these rants are about. You don't get what these rants are about. You don't get these show. That's what they would say on the Daily Libertars. You don't get these show. Okay? They are about this. These rants are about wanting consistency from the edit, production, casting, and the fan base. I've always been about those 4 pillars, and I consistently talk about these things. Now, when it comes to social injustice and stuff like that, that is within the confines of all 4 things. So I do so, okay? And frankly, I'm disappointing in the lack of consistency I'm seeing from all of you. I'm not giving Bailey a pass for making up with Faisal tonight because she waited until the vote changed to save Rockstar to do so, letting me know she would have kept ignoring him if the vote were to stay the same to get out Rockstar, and probably would have thrown him under the bus more to people if the vote was to get rid of Rockstar heading into tomorrow. And don't rule it out. She might throw him under the bus again. We don't know. But now that she can't flip this vote, because it's unanimous as of right now, she's forced to go back to playing double agent mode for next week. So let's keep our eyes on Bailey because this is an ongoing investigation, ladies and gentlemen. A Recency Bias Radio investigation. Lastly, it doesn't matter if Bailey and Casey are working for a unanimous vote to get out Caitlyn, because if Caitlyn comes back, Bailey will flip regardless as soon as she sees Swaggy not walk back in this house. Because like I said, she wants to be at the cool kids table. She's had a change of heart. Our girl is not the same. That's just the truth. Those are the facts. And this has been the 14th rant of Recency Bias Radio, where no one is safe from criticism. Big Brother 20. I am your humble host, Dave Smith. I hope you all have truly enjoyed yourself. Tomorrow, y'all know who I'm bringing back. I'm bringing back Raven. Hopefully my homeboy Brandon could come through as well. And we're definitely going to debate this. We're definitely going to talk for a long time, and we're going to answer some questions as well. It's been a while since you've seen them, so we're going to get it popping, ladies and gentlemen. So if you could, please like, share, and subscribe. I know some of y'all might not like the fact that I had to keep it 1,000 about Bailey, but if you've been following these feeds, you know that I am in no way trying to shit on this girl and take personal shots at her. I am legit keeping it a buck, okay? And if you can, please, on the right side of my page, you see that bell, click on it so you can be here with the most lit live chat in Big Brother 20 history. Bar none, baby. I am your humble host, Dave Smith. This is Recency Bias Radio, where no one is safe from criticism. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all enjoy y'all night. Deuces.